So, you find yourself on the UnrealEntGaming channel. How fortunate for you. I, Lord Frieza, will spare your life as long as you subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for tons of exclusive content to early access media and much more. Do it now, or else.
And so as our story involving the resurrected gods of destruction continues to move forward, the stakes have never been higher, as our heroes are about to face challenges that will push them to their absolute limits and beyond, ranging from intense battles to surprising alliances as Goku, Vegeta, and Broly face their most formidable opponent yet. As our heroes confront their fears and push past their limits, you will be taken on a ride filled with suspense, excitement, and unforgettable moments. So fasten your seatbelts and get ready for another amazing adventure as our heroes now stand face to face against Universe 16's God of Destruction, Pharix.
As our story now opens up following the initial battle involving Universe 15's God of Destruction Gardox and Beast Gohan having to then make its way back on over into Universe 7, as with Universe 7's God of Destruction Beerus alongside Whis then shown having to make their way towards Piccolo and Gohan was when Whis then went on to respond. Well, I must say that although it was quite surprising to see you all arrive despite being shown engaging against another God of Destruction in battle, I will admit and say that I'm rather impressed with Beerus chiming in. Yes, as am I, but that still doesn't change the fact that I still demand to know about how this all came to pass, along with more about what this new beast power that this Saiyan mortal was shown using in battle, Beerus says, for I find it to be a rather interesting power to say the least, with Whis chiming back in. And while you do that, I'll just go and heal you both back up as you enlighten us on what had happened between you all here today, to which as Whis was then shown having to heal both Gohan and Piccolo was when Piccolo then went on to respond. Well, prior to Universe 15's God of Destruction arriving on Earth, we had already been dealing with the Red Ribbon Army having to suddenly return, and with them, they went and created a monstrous new enemy for us to battle against named Cell Max, who is so unstable and so powerful that it ultimately forced us into acquiring new levels of power, especially with Gohan, Piccolo says. And it really wasn't long after Gohan had destroyed Cell Max was when Lord Gardox suddenly then showed up in demanding to know on who was responsible for the sudden burst of massive power that he had felt from all the way across the universe, which only from there moving forward, the rest is all history from there, with Beerus then having to then chime in. And so you're saying that he just suddenly arrived and demanded to know the source of the power responsible for destroying this Cell Max? I see, then it must have been shortly after the Grand Priest was shown taking his leave after coming here, and then what happened, Beerus questions. Well, at that point, Piccolo says, there were several things that he made us undergo before finally having to get the chance to fight Lord Gardox head on, but it was mainly Gohan who he was more interested in than anyone else, with Beerus then having to approach Gohan by responding, well, it's not really hard to see on why that was, especially now after seeing all that I was able to see come from you when the two of you just suddenly appeared from out of nowhere when you did. But aside from this beast power of yours, what was that other strange power that you were starting to unravel before your daughter had stopped the battle, Beerus questions. Well, truthfully, I really hate to sound so clueless here, but what other strange power are you talking about, Lord Beerus? My beast form was all that I had been using out there against Lord Gardox the entire time, or at least I think I was the entire time. Right, is that so, Beerus questions, because it sounds to me like you're hiding something, and so now cough it up, boy. Are you? With Pan quickly having to then intervene. Hey, my papa wouldn't lie or go and hide anything from you, Mr. Beerus. My papa had to go through so much just to simply get the chance to finally fight Mr. Green, and so just please leave my papa out of any more trouble, Mr. Beerus, okay? Hey, it's okay, sweetie, Gohan responds. Lord Beerus doesn't mean any harm by the questions that he's asking. He's just curious to know more about what happened, that's all. Yes, I am rather curious about something, Beerus went on to then chime back in, but I never would have expected for my curiosity to come from you of all mortals. But then again, perhaps there is more to your skill and sheer potential than I ever would have cared to look for, Beerus continues. So maybe you can actually prove to be rather useful, especially with what it was that I just saw take place here a few minutes ago, with Gohan questioning, and if you don't mind me asking, but useful for what exactly, Lord Beerus? Quiet, I'm thinking here. Yes, perhaps this could be exactly what it was that I needed in order to take myself even further in reaching the next level of power. And so now what say you, Whis? For you did happen to mention the things that you had said earlier as a means of including a third party, didn't you? And so now I have an idea, with Piccolo then shown addressing Gohan by then responding, well, since we're finally out of that mess and away from finding ourselves locked in yet another battle, what do you say we go and head back home and check in with the others and see how they're doing along with rest for a little while, with Gohan responding, yeah, well, I actually like the sound of that a lot, Piccolo, plus I have to get back to my studies anyway since I have a presentation to submit in about a week. Speaking of checking in with the others, Piccolo went on to then interrupt, I can't seem to sense Goku or Vegeta's energies anywhere, so any idea on where you think they might be if they're not here, with Gohan responding, well, actually, come to think of it, yeah, I thought my dad and Vegeta would already be here, and so if they're not, then they're either training somewhere else or maybe they're just back home, but we should go and check just to be. But then it was just before Gohan could even go as far as to finish was when Beerus went on to then interrupt, you will go and do no such thing, Saiyan, for your daughter and the Namekian can gladly take their leave while I go and have Whis send them both back home, but you, on the other hand, aren't going anywhere because you'll be staying here with me. And in case you're wondering on why, well, my answer to you is quite simple, Beerus continues, and that is because you and I are going to have a quick little sparring contest. And as I want to go on ahead and gauge you for a moment so that way I could be sure with the decision that I'm thinking about making, and so the rest could leave but you will stay, with Piccolo then questioning, wait, you what? You want to go and have a sparring match with Gohan? Hold on, really? You want to go and fight me here and as in like now? Like as in like right now? Oh, well, it doesn't sound as though he's joking about this either, so geez, could this day get any worse for me? Oh, well, this doesn't sound too good. As all the while in the meantime, when then venturing back on over into Universe 16 and seeing the events follow involving Goku, Vegeta, and God of Destruction Pharix was when Goku then went on to quickly add, so that's what this was all about? Oh, great, and since he knows that we were actually directly training under both Whis and Lord Beerus, it sounds like this is far more personal now for him since he also knows that Whis and Lord Beerus trust us both. And you can see that he's not joking, and so this is more than likely a bragging rights contest for this God of Destruction than anything else. Well, it's obvious now, but there's no way that you are going to force me into getting into that tomb, Destroyer, Vegeta responds. And so we'll gladly accept your offer and battle you here and now, but what are you truly after here that you are so curious to know more about? Because if what you are saying is true, then what's in it for you? With God of Destruction Pharix responding, well, it's actually quite simple, for I am nothing like your bloated, ego-driven destroyer, and so what is in it for me is not hard to understand. The satisfaction that I seek in measuring both of your powers stems from my desire to redefine the hierarchy among our universe, as Beerus has always been too complacent in his superiority, bolstered by your successes in having you do his job for him, but by defeating you both in combat would mean that I would dismantle his faith within you mortals alongside his pride, in further proving that his top-tier fighters are only but minor stepping stones to the true gods of destruction. And although I hold nothing personal against Beerus, one fact that I will state is simply that I just never liked his attitude in always assuming that both he and his universe were number one, and so we will decide it with this. Now pay attention, for if this coin toss were to land on both of your faces, then I will grant you the liberty to go and use your strongest levels of power power against me, as I will battle you both head-on even at the same time if I must. And so if this coin toss were to land on your heads, then you will engage me both together. However, if this coin toss were to land on death, then you will both be removed from this world and sent into another realm where you will have to find your way back into this reality or face the risk of being sealed away from this timeline forever. And so this coin will determine your future, mortals. And should fortune favor my curiosity after tossing this coin, Pharix continues, then I will go and seize this moment to delve into the enigma that is of this third Saiyan over there. Yes, and if what you had said about his strength is true, then his raw and untamed power will be tested to see if it's worth its rumored presence or not. And to witness such a force under such conditions that favor me like the one that we are in now is an experiment which I am very keen to undertake. But what say you, Pharix questions? What better way to assess his rumored might than when fate itself conspires with me, am I right? Yes, you appear very tense, mortal creature. You should try and relax yourself, for we are not yet engaged in battle without finding out if they will be going first or not. Pharix went on to address Broly by responding, but either way we will soon see. And so come now and let us decide, for I'll make sure to hold up my end of the deal if and only if you Saiyans can go as far as to hold up your end of the deal as well, as it surely won't be easy, but nothing ever really is, isn't that right? Now let us be fair and trust that the outcome of this coin toss will prove beneficial. Pharix went on to then flip his coin, as Vegeta then went on to chime in. Oh, just wonderful. Well, brace yourself for the worst, Kakarot, because this one appears to be far more relaxed than many of the other destroyers that we've encountered, and I don't like it. And so prepare for anything at this point, and please tell me that you went and brought some senzu beans with you. Wait, what do you mean? I don't have any senzu beans on me, Vegeta. We never had a chance to go and visit Dende and Korin since these guys started showing up, with Vegeta responding, Oh, you idiot! Of course you didn't bother to go and grab some when the moment called for you to have them. I should have known. Good job, Kakarot. Which upon Pharix being shown now having to catch his coin was when Pharix then went on to continue, and thus your fates have been decided, Saiyans, as one must now ponder on whether or not Lord Beerus had truly readied you both for what lies beyond your current reality, but I trust and hope that you are, Pharix continues, because I do want to see on just how skillful Lord Beerus' students of the 7th truly are when up against the Master, and so I hope that you are both able to understand that this is now a trial where the stakes are at their highest, and if you start to lose sight of your purpose or fail to navigate your way back, then you will be devoured by the darkness that awaits you and forgotten by the annals of both time and history forever. That much I will leave you with, and so now, my fateful Veer, come and claim these unwashed souls and bring them into the realm where each and every one of their actions, along with each and every single one of their choices, come with a staggering price to pay. To which instantly now from out of nowhere, as two ghoulish ghosts were then shown having to grab both Goku and Vegeta from behind, was when Goku then went on to shout, Whoa, hey, just what in the world is this? Oh, just where the heck did these things just jump out from? Oh, damn it, and why can't I go and move my body? Just what's going on? I don't know, Kakarot, but where is that bastard ordering these little ghouls to go and drag us both into? Quickly, Kakarot, we have to jump into our ultra levels and break away from them right now before it's... But then, it was just before Vegeta and Goku even had the opportunity to go and do such a thing was when the ghoulish Veer were then shown dragging both Saiyans within the darkness of the tombs, as Vegeta then went on to shout, God damn it! You haven't beaten us just yet, God of Destruction! You hear me? Oh no! Broly, listen, whatever you do, and no matter how bad things get out here while we're gone, just try and control your anger like how we trained you! And so don't lose control or you'll... But it was already too late, because with the Veer now successfully shown having to drag both Goku and Vegeta within the darkness of these tombs, as these tombs were now beginning to be sealed shut, was when Pharix then went on to continue, Enough of this nonsense, as if anything that either of you will say will even matter at this point anyways, but nevertheless, it seems as though we found ourselves in a rather unique predicament, haven't we, mortal, as here we stand, just you and I, with those two momentarily brushed aside. The stage is now set for just you and me, Saiyan, as I am now rather curious on what that Goku had mentioned about this power that you harbor, and so therefore I want to see it. So now show me. And show Destroyer Pharix he did, because with Broly listening to Goku in not having to lose control but instead powering up to his Akari form was when Pharix then went on to continue. And so now don't listen to those whom are no longer here with us, Saiyan, because if you truly are every bit as gifted as your ally claimed for you to be, then present it. And while I assume that this power that you wield now is only but the base level to your actual strength, I'm beginning to wonder on why you were told to control yourself as best as you can upon our immediate battle. Broly then went on to dash in, when you should already know that it would be a death sentence if you don't show me your best, mortal. Goku had spoken of your restraints, but there's something more behind whatever this is after all, isn't there? Yes, I can feel it, Pharix continues. And while that Saiyan spoke of your restraint, there's an undeniable depth to your strength that I sense coming from deep within you. A destructive potential that parallels the instincts of a destroyer. Interesting. It's as if within you burns the same insatiable lust for chaos and carnage as we gods share. But why do you hold such power at bay? And more importantly, Pharix continues, is why haven't you been chosen to be trained by the gods of your respective universe, creature? Could it be due to you being as unworthy to be trained by a god as anyone else? Or is that because you are simply unable to contend with the nature of one? Pharix went on to respond upon Broly being shown missing his strike. But what say you, Rizal? Am I wrong for believing that this creature should liberate himself against me freely? Or was that Saiyan harboring more information from me than I assumed? As Pharix went on to then backhand Broly across the face with Rizal responding, although I will say that not much is really known about this Saiyan here, given the nature of his power being fairly unknown to us within the moment as this battle ensues. I do, however, believe that he is not like the other two in regards to his power being as high and his skills being as sharp, which is why I do believe that even while visiting Universe 7 when watching Lord Reno battle against Lord Beerus, and I did happen to notice the Saiyan Goku talking Broly down into getting him to not lose control, and so I do believe that this isn't for just any unknown reason either, my lord. As Pharix went on to grab onto Broly's punch by responding, then this creature is as useful to me as any other mortal is, which means that without him being taken under the wing of a god and made out to be trained by one, then he is nothing more than just a byproduct of his universe and nothing more, despite this potential that I sensed coming from him, as even now, potential can only take you so far when up against proficiency. And so in the meantime, Pharix continues upon now being shown summoning two ghoulish arms popping up from the sands below and grabbing onto Broly's ankles by then suddenly having to respond, while I wait to see if any of your mortal allies will be mentally sharp enough to find their way out and back onto my world. You, however, will be fed to my many pets that I keep beneath the ground in which you stand on. And while I trust that at least one of your friends will return to me with a worthy acceptance to my challenge, you, however, will not. Quicksand, in case you didn't already know, as Broly was beginning to sink on down, so you can struggle all you want because it won't matter one way or another, Saiyan. Ridiculous. And here you had me excited to see on just why you were kept under the watchful eye of your Saiyan friends, only for you to be proven useless. To which even then, despite with Broly shown struggling and having to escape this quicksand, as he was only then being shown brought underneath it, was when Pharix then went on to walk away by then continuing, so it's evident to me now that raw power alone is insignificant when lacking proper direction, and without the guidance of Beerus and Whis, he flails, powerful yet undirected. For Goku and Vegeta have transcended their limits through divine mentorship, while this Broly had been left to his own devices, crumbling beneath the weight of his failures without proper control. And so now come, Rizal, for we will carry on with our business elsewhere while I wait to see on what the result of their actions will be within the coming hour. As Rizal then went on to respond, well, that was fast to say the least, but do you even believe that the mortals will even be able to find their way out and back onto this world, Lord Pharix? Because it does sound to me like you doubt their ability to even be able to do it, my lord. bored, as Pharix went on to then respond, I don't, for they will become far more interested in dabbling within other realities to even pay attention, Pharix continues, as I would only expect that Beerus and Whis have trained their minds just as much as they have trained their bodies to understand the difference between monetary instincts and poisonous curiosity, Rizal, as the question becomes more about will they be more interested in dabbling with their alternate choices and decisions, or will they be far more interested in accepting the outcome of their current choices and decisions and navigate their way through by returning to me? Will it be the illusion of an alternate reality, or will it be the current truth to which they face? For this, we will wait and see. To which, in the meantime, as both Goku and Vegeta were now seemingly brought into this realm by the hands of the Veer, was when the Veer then went on to respond, yes, in you go, Saiyan, as I hereby welcome you courtesy of the great and all-powerful Lord Pharix into the Window Realm. For in this realm here, the fabric of existence is thinner than the edge of a blade, further allowing us to peer into the countless realities where every decision you made, every battle that you've waged, and every situation that you were placed in had unfolded in various different ways across each and every single timeline that you just so happen to be involved in, the Veer continues, as each window you see is a portal to a life that you are living or had once lived in, where every choice and every action is different than the ones here. For this is a place where we can explore and peer into the consequences of the actions that were not shown having to be made, battles that you may never had fought within, and alliances that may never had been formed, the Veer continues. But this too does not come without a price, as you will need to find your way back to Lord Pharix, and you will only be given 3 chances to do so, or you will be trapped here with us forever. As Lord Pharix wants to see if either of you mortals have what it takes to possess the proper mental capacity in choosing correctly, but choose incorrectly among any of these windows after failing 3 times, and you will find yourselves ensnared in this realm for all of eternity, trapped as a mere spectator within the confines of time, forever gazing upon the river of history without the means to swim ashore, even if you die, because if you were to perish here, then you will become a Veer just like us. So whichever window you choose to open, you better hope that it is the right one, with Vegeta then having to chime in, the Window Realm? Wait, so you're meaning to tell me that each of these screens is an actual window into looking within an alternate timeline where the events of the outcome of each and every single one of my actions are vastly different, and more importantly different than the ones that I had made in this timeline? So I have 3 chances to go and choose to look into any of these in hopes of finding my way back? That is correct, Saiyan. And so now go and choose any of these windows by tapping onto whichever window you think is the correct one that is calling for you to go back into the timeline which you currently belong in, as if you just so happen to select the wrong timeline and wish for me to answer any of the lingering questions that you may have about what you see, then I will provide you with the information needed in order to answer your questions. As Goku then went on to respond, oh wow, and so I only have 3 chances to pick and choose whichever window I believe is the right one that I'm supposed to go back into, or I'm going to risk just falling short and then being stuck here? Oh, well, that isn't good, but I guess I better start looking then. Back on Beerus' planet, following the initial events of Beerus wanting Gohan to stay while sending both Pan and Piccolo back home, to which upon a very brief engagement in having to challenge Gohan's base level before having to be shown addressing him, was when Beerus went on to then respond, you know, I find this interaction to be quite an interesting one despite the many battles and challenges that have unfolded since the days of when your father went on to achieve Super Saiyan God, and since then our interactions have remained very minimal until today, and I must admit that I'm quite fascinated by it, Beerus continues, and especially after seeing all that I was able to see come from you upon the moment where both you and Gardox were shown having to engage, and since you and I never truly had the chance to measure each other's capabilities in a fight, I think it's time that we go and change that, for I want to see if you truly possess the potential to stand beside me as a worthy training partner, or if I'm simply just making a mistake by considering you as such a partner, Gohan. And while your base level is rather disappointing to say the least, Beerus continues, I want to go on ahead and see more of this beast form of yours, and especially if you wish to try and stand a good chance against me, Saiyan, with Gohan responding, well, although I'm honored to share this moment with you and having this be our first time actually going head-to-head since the days of when my dad had achieved Super Saiyan God, your acknowledgement of my unique path to power leaves me curious about the purpose behind your proposal in wanting me here to train with you, Gohan says. And so why are you so interested in wanting to have me as your training partner when you already have my dad and Vegeta here to help train alongside you? Was it because of my fight with Lord Gardox that you suddenly wanted to test my power to see what I'm all about, with Beerus responding, well, that, and with your father Vegeta and Broly currently in Universe 16, in what I can only assume for there to be a fight that's taking place over there as well, Beerus adds. I'm all out of worthy challengers to face, but you, on the other hand, just might be the perfect fit as this continues. But even now, the reason on why I decided to choose you was because there appears to be something different about you that I would like to explore and see for myself, Beerus continues. And if I am to reach the pinnacle of my potential, then I want to see if you could be the one that could help push me into achieving it, assuming if you even can, that is, with Gohan responding, wait, did you just say Broly? As in the same Broly that Dad and Vegeta had battled on Earth a few years ago? What's going on with them? Well, regardless, so Ascension is what you're looking to achieve, is it? Well, now that makes sense. So should I go all out then, Gohan questions? Or should I gradually show you on what I'm capable of little by little, with Beerus responding, you can go and do whatever it is that you need to go and do, but remember one thing, Saiyan. If you fail to understand the grave nature of this engagement between us, then I can assure you now that you will be utterly obliterated, Gohan. And so now go and do whatever it is that you need to go and do and come at me, to which as Gohan was then shown doing, it was only just when Gohan was then shown quickly powering up into his ultimate form first before jumping into his beast form was when Gohan then went on to respond, yeah, well, don't go and get the wrong idea here, because I do in fact happen to understand the current situation that I'm in against you, but I want you to know that before I go and show you my all, I want to go and see for myself as to where you are compared to the levels that are beneath my beast form, Gohan says. And so before we go and get there, if we go and get there, since I believe that this ought to be enough to do the trick, then what do you say, Lord Beerus? Shall we? With Beerus then shown casually having to yawn and responding, well, this again, huh? Well, if you honestly think that this ultimate form of yours will be enough to do me in, then I welcome you to go and try, but don't be surprised when I go and shut you down again, Gohan. And so now go on then, do your worst. To which as Gohan was then shown charging at Beerus, it had only become evident now that Gohan wanted to see where Beerus stood before having to use his beast form, as Whis went on to then chime in. Now, although it's undeniable that Gohan has indeed come a very long way since our first encounter back on Earth all those years ago, despite his ultimate form radiating a power that is considerably more potent than how it ever was shown being before, as intriguing as it may be, this display of strength, while impressive, will not take him very far in this battle, Whis adds. And given Lord Beerus' history and nature as a god of destruction, for Gohan to genuinely challenge Lord Beerus, he will need to delve into the depths of his power and embrace his beast form with haste if he wishes to stand a chance here, and especially after briefly having to train with Lord Beerus before Gohan had arrived. In which even then, despite with Gohan being shown attacking Beerus, with Beerus shown dodging each and every single one of Gohan's strikes, was when Beerus went on to then chime back in, you don't seriously intend on keeping this onslaught up against me for much longer now, do you, Saiyan? Because although this ultimate form of yours has gotten a tad bit stronger, you are dooming yourself if you honestly believe that it'll hold out against me, mortal. And so now what's it going to be, Beerus questions, because these attempts are but a joke, Gohan. Well, never once did I assume that fighting you was going to be easy, Gohan went on to utter by dashing forward, and especially with everything that it is that I know about you, you, but if there's one thing about me that you will soon come to realize for yourself, is no matter what the odds are that are shown being stacked against me, I will always continue to fight and I will always push forward even if it destroys me, Lord Beerus. So there's plenty of more where that came from. Gohan went on to land a solid punch by responding, because I know you're itching to see me at my best. With Beerus responding, you are starting to annoy me just as much as your father once annoyed me until I went and taught him some manners. But hear me carefully, Saiyan, for no matter the improvements that you've made onto this ultimate form of yours, you and I both know that this will not prove anything, especially if you hope to survive. To which upon the very moment where Beerus was now shown being on the offensive and attacking Gohan before putting him back down was when Beerus then went on to continue, tell me something, in what world do you honestly think that this ultimate form of yours is going to favor you in? Because how could you ever hope to hold your own against the likes of another destroyer if you simply aren't at your best from the very beginning of our battle, mortal? As I want you to go and think about where you are and with whom you're fighting with here, Saiyan, because unlike Gardox, I actually know you. And while you're under the assumption that your ultimate level will be enough, it won't be, Saiyan. And you're lucky that I'm going easy on you on top of it, and so now stand back up and do as I ask of you, or you will be destroyed. To which upon that very moment with Gohan then shown having to jump up on the ground and attacking Lord Beerus was when Whis then went on to chime in, well, now I see what you're trying to do out there against the boy Lord Beerus, where he's trying to motivate the Saiyan by forcing him to go and do exactly as he did when facing off against Lord Gardox. An interesting tactic for someone like Lord Beerus to go and use here, but a very smart one nevertheless. And especially now if Lord Beerus hopes to try and get the best out of the Saiyan, then this is what he must go and do. But even this simply wasn't going to be enough to get Gohan by, because with Beerus then shown having to knock Gohan back down onto the ground was when Beerus then went on to continue, what a waste of my time, and to think that I could expect anything more from a mortal with no proper guidance and training with a god is just pitiful. Maybe I was wrong to assume that you'd be anything like your father is when his back is up against the wall, Gohan. And so now where is it? Where is that power that you used to fight off Gardox with? Still preserving, aren't we? And for what? Beerus questions. For it's foolish to believe that you could best me otherwise, and so tell me then, what is it that you hold dear? Because judging from the story you told upon battling Gardox, you fight for the sake of protecting your family, don't you, Saiyan? Because the difference should be quite clear on what it is that you'd need to go and do, Gohan. And so now how could you stand before me and claim to want to protect your friends and family when you instead hesitate to unleash your full power from the very beginning of a battle? Tell me something, do I need to go and place your daughter in harm's way just as Gardox did for you to act accordingly? And as I assume that you wouldn't like that very much, now would you, Gohan? Beerus went on to then stomp on down by asking. No? Well then find your resolve to show me what you're willing to fight for then, Saiyan. Go on now, mortal, do it, for you cannot safeguard anyone if you're incapable of protecting yourself in battle first, Saiyan. For this restraint, along with this hesitation that you place on yourself, are not virtues here, but liabilities, Beerus continues. And that is why I chose you, Saiyan. This beast form, along with this other unknown power that you harbor, are powers which I want to go and test my strength against, as they are levels of power which I want to use to evolve my own with, as the higher I climb, even for you as someone who wishes to also become stronger yourself, if you don't take this moment to show me the power that you used against Universe 15's God of Destruction, then I will end you here and now and go about my business and achieve this alone. And so choose, Saiyan. Do you wish to evolve yourself beyond your wildest dreams and train alongside one of the mightiest gods of destruction in the multiverse? Or do you wish to simply become an afterthought just as you have always been? As your father and Vegeta had to work their way into having me accept and train them here, and so now you will be forced to do the same. No, just wait, Lord Beerus. With Beerus then having to respond, wait, Lord Beerus, what? what, Saiyan? And what exactly is it that you would want for me to wait for? It's as simple as I said, Saiyan. And so now get it together, because you will not be given a second chance to do this again. Now, I won't go and tell you to take this fight as seriously as you should again, because if you fail to do as I ask of you, then perhaps I ought to pay Earth another visit. Only this time, instead of just standing alongside it, maybe I'll just go and destroy it, Beerus continues. And to destroy the Earth would mean to also destroy the very family which you claim that you would want to protect. But can you? What will you be able to do to stop me if that turns out to be the case, Saiyan? Because deep down, you know that I'll go and do it too, and so this is going to be your last chance to show me. Now engage with me by using your strongest level of power so that I may see if you are worthy of calling you my training partner, or you can throw it all down the drain as I go and annihilate everyone and everything that you love, and this, dear Saiyan, is going to be your last warning. No, surely you wouldn't. Would you, Gohan questions, with Beerus responding, oh, I would, and you should know firsthand that I'll go and do it just to see the look on your face of the aftermath of it all. Last chance, Saiyan. Contest me at your best or watch your world be ripped away. To which it was only then, upon Gohan now being shown shaking with tears flowing down his face, was when Whis then went on to add, well, although that may have been a little harsh for Lord Beerus to go and say, from what I'm starting to see take place, I think Lord Beerus's comments are now beginning to have an effect on Gohan. But the question now is, will he channel his all and use this power which Lord Beerus demands of him in battle, or will he simply just falter under the pressure of Lord Beerus's request? You, how could you? I could never allow you to go and hurt them. Never, Gohan utters, with Beerus responding, wait, could this be it? Yes. What a massive increase of power compared to what it just was before. And so I'm sure that this must be what I'd been hoping to see, because there it is. To which seconds later, with a gigantic aura eruption being shown having to take place from the ground, was when Whis then went on to chime in, and there it is. For I must admit that I never would have imagined that someone like Gohan would ever have been capable of wielding such an enormous power like the one that he is evolving into. But needless to say, from what I can see, if the Saiyan is able to give Lord Beerus a sturdy and balanced battle, one of course that will force Lord Beerus into using more of his full power in this fight, then I do believe that Gohan would be the perfect fit for the job. However, I'm beginning to wonder if battling within the living realm would be ideal, especially considering what's about to take place here. And so although I am a bit cautious, we will wait and see on how this will go, with Beerus then having to utter, yes, finally, now there's the power that I've been looking to battle against. Ah yes, now there's the form that I wanted to see. Beerus went on to then continue upon Gohan being shown transforming into his beast form. And what better timing it could have been, because I was starting to grow very impatient with you, Gohan. But there you finally are. And so then, are we ready to do this? Because for your sake, you better not disappoint me this time around, because it's like I said, you won't be given another chance. But now that your full power has been brought out and onto the surface for me to see, let's just go and see if you're worthy of training with me now that your best is brought out onto the surface. And so I'll allow you the honors of being the first to go and attack me, since now you have my blood pumping again, Saiyan. Now come at me, Gohan. To which, as Beast Gohan was then shown dashing right towards Beerus, was when Beast Gohan then went on to shout, okay then, God of Destruction, you asked for this, and so now that you're about to get exactly what you wanted, so you better brace yourself. To which, upon Gohan then shown having to attack Beerus by being on the offensive, was when Whis then went on to chime back in, well, I can safely say that the odds are now even, especially now that Gohan understands the meaning behind what it is that he is supposed to do. But as I watch Gohan spar with Lord Beerus, however, it becomes increasingly clear on why he stands as the most suitable candidate to be Lord Beerus's training partner. But I am rather concerned on just how far these two are willing to actually go, especially with all things considered, because we wouldn't want to go go and destroy the entire universe as a result of their training either. Well now, would you look at that, Beerus went on to then respond. You actually got me trying over here, Saiyan. A rarity in many cases, but I'm not Lord Gardox, and so what makes you think that I'll go and have you push me around as you did when you were shown engaging against him, mortal? Is it because of this faith that you've placed within this newly discovered beast form, or what? As a matter of fact, Beast Gohan responds, it is, Lord Beerus, because the power that you see and what I represent can never be destroyed, and I'll die trying if I must. To which, as Gohan was then shown backhanding Beerus across the face, was when Gohan then went on to continue, and since this was the power that you wanted for me to go and use against you, then let's see what you can do. Good. Very good, in fact, Beerus went on to smile upon his body being shown flying out into the distance. Yes, this was what I wanted to get out of you, Saiyan. I can't believe this, for I haven't been this excited since the days of when I battled against Goku when he first transformed into a Super Saiyan God. Oh, now I'll admit and say that you're good, Saiyan. Beerus went on to then suddenly vanish. You're actually far better than I imagined that you'd be. However, as good as you may be, I am in fact that much better than you, Beerus went on to then suddenly appear behind Gohan. Now say good night, mortal, Beerus went on to then proceed by chopping Gohan in the neck. For I'll admit that you're good, but you just aren't good enough. Now ease yourself and just let it sink in, Saiyan. And while I will be truthful to you and say that you've managed to surprise me, which is no small feat for anyone to achieve, but you still have a very long way to go if you wish to match up to a destroyer of my stature, Beerus continues. And although you were able to defeat and get the best of Gardox, I am nothing like he is, Saiyan, but watching you take Gardox down with such ferocity had left me astounded, for your beast form is a force to indeed be reckoned with, stronger than I anticipated, but there's a clear gap in your armor, which is one that's all too clear for someone like me. But to become my training partner would require far more than a simple knockout in order for a battle to be done, Gohan, which is why you are still not ready to fit that role until you've mastered these flaws, Beerus continues. And so now I don't know what it was that you did that got the better of Gardox, but clearly whatever that is something that is outside of your control. But even now, I will leave you with my respects, Beerus went on to then turn around by walking away, for you will need far more than raw power to stand against the gods, as experience is what shapes our very strength into becoming the ultimate weapons, because without it, you are merely swinging in the dark in hopes of hitting your target, Gohan. And so in the meantime, come now, Whis, for we have other important matters to attend to, and so let us get back to it and train while the Saiyan is wait. He's gone? Beerus went on to then suddenly turn his head by questioning. But how can that even be? For the mortal was shown face down on the ground right there, and so now I see. Yes, but of course, Beerus went on to continue upon being shown having to sense something approaching his way, as I should have seen this coming and made sure that he went and stayed down when he did. Very impressive. But then, it was only shockingly enough now from out of nowhere as Beast Gohan made his re-entry and attempting to strike Beerus, with Beerus being shown grabbing onto Gohan's punch and literally shattering the entirety of his planet, was when Whis went on to then chime back in. Oh goodness, well I didn't think that Gohan would actually go and get back up and fight back after that, but even now, dare I even say after seeing Gohan literally go and get right back up and attack Lord Beerus, I'm more so convinced now than how I was shown being before that he is perfect for the position in training with Lord Beerus, but, well, at what cost if the entirety of the universe is destroyed as an end result of their battle? And so now let's see. Well, actually, come to think of it, Whis continues, it's worth a shot if it means avoiding getting in trouble by the Omni Kings. To which back on over onto the battlefield, with Beerus now shown having to grab onto and hold Beast Gohan's punch mid-strike upon having to be shown attacking Beerus, was when Beerus then went on to respond. So, you baited me on a lie, huh? Well, I should have known that you weren't truly knocked out cold, but now you have my attention, Saiyan. Well, good, because I'm glad that you are now starting to see that Lord Gardox isn't going to be the only god of destruction Destruction who I would have went and beat here today, because I'm far from finished, and you know that I am, with Beerus then having to quickly respond, "Oh, is that so? You talk as though you have already won this contest, Gohan. But need I remind you that I am not at my best, and since I know that you aren't either, it's time we drop the act and start to take matters here between us far more seriously than what we were shown doing before. And so what say you, Saiyan? Do you think that you are ready to feel my full power for the very first time?" With Beast Gohan responding, "Then if that's how you want to go and do this, then I'll make sure to respond the only way I know as to how, and that is to show you the power of the beast that lies within me. And so hopefully now you can see that I am more than worthy enough to stand by your side as your training partner, Lord Beerus. As with that being said, here goes." But then, it was only then from out of nowhere in between both Beast Gohan and Beerus was when Whis went on to then show up by separating both Gohan and Beerus by then responding, "Alright, now that's quite enough, as you don't want to go and destroy the entire universe as a means of having to prove a point to one another. But after seeing all that I was able to see," Whis continues, "I actually have a much better idea than the one that you are both engaged in within the moment, as I believe that it is now safe to say that Gohan here is very much worthy of being considered a training partner to you as anyone else would, Lord Beerus. Which only now brings me to this. Now, after having to observe your current levels of power," Whis adds, "I think it's pretty much safe to say that training on this planet the way you both did will only further add on to the ongoing chaos that was just shown taking place, as well as also go as far as to destroy the planet completely, which isn't something that we obviously want to do. And so, I have a counter solution that I believe will solve all of our issues without the risk of destroying anything on your planet, Lord Beerus." With Beerus responding, "I see, and so what do you suggest that we go and do then, Whis? Because I intend on continuing my fight with the Saiyan, for he is exactly what I was looking for in a sparring partner." With Whis responding, "Well, you see, my suggestion is for us to go inside of the hyperbolic time chamber and carry on with your training in there, but since it just dawned upon me after seeing the two of you battle," Whis continues, "I do in fact happen to have a brother that I believe would be the perfect fit in helping aid you both in accomplishing your goals," Whis adds, "and even though it's been an extremely long time since him and I have last spoken, I have no doubt in my mind that he would be perfect in overseeing your training while together. So what you're saying is that each of these windows are some sort of a gateway in peering into alternate worlds where Kakarot and I are completely different than how we are now? And so our task is to basically find our way back or be stuck with you ghouls in here forever, is that it?" Oh, how ridiculous. "So where do I begin?" Vegeta questions, "or am I given the free range to go and choose which window I want to go and look into first?" With the Veer having to respond, "That is correct, warrior. Information can be provided about each of these timelines that you happen to see, assuming that you aren't able to find your way back to your own world in time, but I am limited by Lord Pharix by how much I can reveal, and so if you are able to find your way back to him and proven to be successful in battle against him, then you may go and ask him to educate you further on whatever it is that you would want to know." With Goku then having to also respond, "Gosh, and so we'll end up being just like you guys if we go and mess this up more than 3 times? Oh, well, that's a bummer, but I am rather curious to know more about what these other realities are like, actually." With the Veer having to then chime in, "Then if you wish to know more about what you choose, then I will guide you into garnering a better understanding on said reality, Goku." "Well, yeah," Goku responds, "but gosh, these windows could end up housing anything, which is kind of why I'm very curious to know more about what's inside of them, but, well, if I don't go and try to find my way back to the right timeline that I belong in, then, well, Broly could end up needing our help out there against Lord Pharix, and I surely wouldn't want to end up living like a ghost in this realm either, and so, which one should I choose? Tell me, are you having trouble choosing the window that you would want to peer into?" One of the Veer went on to ask Vegeta. "Shall I go and aid you in choosing your first one?" "Oh no, now get away from me, you ugly little creature, for I don't need your help in having to choose, understand? Oh, I can only imagine as to how Kakarot might be dealing with this overall situation, because knowing him, that idiot is going to end up dooming himself if he isn't careful." As Goku then went on to chime back in, "Well, I guess since we really don't have a whole lot of time on our hands, then I think I'll just go and choose to see what's behind this window over here, and, well, I guess just go and hope for the best and that I picked the right one. Well, here goes. And so you said to just lean in and just go and tap on the screen, am I right? Well, here goes nothing, I guess, so let's just hope that I didn't go and make a mistake here, Goku utters. Well, if it means getting the hell up out of here and giving that destroyer a piece of my mind, Vegeta responds, then let's just hurry this up already. And this better not be some kind of a trick either, or you're going to get it too. Okay, well, like this, Goku questions? Hey, what's going on? Wait, am I doing this right? Are you able to see which timeline I'm about to go and look into, or am I doing this wrong? Goku questions, with the Veer having to respond, ah yes, the tapestry of time you've chosen to gaze upon is woven with the unintended consequences of noble intentions. For your comrade's wishes at the Tournament of Power, driven by the purest desire to restore life, had went and inadvertently undid the very fabric of cosmic justice, as this act itself had resulted in the resurrection of Goku Black. For in this reality, Goku Black had transcended the very boundaries of god power that you Saiyans thought had been possible, in going as far as to achieve a form known as Super Saiyan Rose 3, a form so potent and saturated with the essence of divine energy that it dwarfs all prior incarnations previously known, the Veer continues, and with this newly found strength, he claimed dominion over Universe 10 by establishing it as his kingdom, from which he would later go and wage war with you all back within Universe 7. And in that time, Goku Black would go on to unleash one more form that nearly destroyed everything in sight, the Veer continues, for his leap beyond Super Saiyan Rose 3 revealed a power so devastating that it threatened the very fabric of Universe 7 before a reaction, let alone a response, could even have been made in its defense, the Veer continues. And due to your lack of power in being able to stop this warrior despite holding the numbers advantage over such a sinister foe, which if I can go and recall there being 5 of you, including Universe 10's future Kaioshin by your side to help you all, in the end, none of you were able to stop this monster on your own, let alone combat him in battle, with Goku responding, wait, seriously? And did you just say that Universe 10's Kaioshin was there to also help us in battle against Goku Black as well? Like, you mean as in Zamasu? So Zamasu turned on Goku Black? And even with his help, none of us were able to win on our own against him? But how did he even grow to become that strong that none of us were even able to defeat him on Earth? Goku questions. Indeed, the Veer responds, but even though you had all proven to be unsuccessful at first, there was a miracle which you were all able to pull off in the end. However, I do regret to inform you that this is not the intended timeline which you are to return into, so you have 2 more attempts remaining, with Goku responding, well, 2 more then, huh? Well, that's a bummer. Well, I've got to be careful because I don't want to run the risk of banishing myself inside of this place, and so, well, let's just see which one of these windows to choose from next. Gosh, this might be a lot harder than I thought that it'd be, but I wonder how Vegeta's doing and if he's had any better luck than I did upon his first try over there. To which even then, back on over on the other side, with Vegeta now shown having to tap on one of the windows, was when Vegeta then went on to chime in, oh, well, alright then, screw it. I choose this one here, and now that I've selected which window I want to go and look into, now what? Well, now we will wait and see if the window that you have decided to peer and look into is the proper timeline which you belong in or not, and remember, if you fail to choose the correct window to peer into more than 3 times, then you will be trapped in this dimension here with us forever, Saiyan. And so let us see what you have selected, with Vegeta responding, well, what's taking so long? What happened to all of the other windows that were just here all of a sudden? Wait a second. What is this? What is it that I am looking at right now? That can't be me now, is it? No, impossible. I don't think it looks like me, but it is, isn't it? What is this? Vegeta questions, as the Veer then went on to respond, oh, but it is, Saiyan. For what you are looking at right now is a reflection of what you had become in an alternate reality that goes far beyond this one. You see, in this reality, you didn't just stop at mastering Ultra Ego while under the tutelage of Universe 7's Lord Beerus, but you went on to achieve far greater, as your power in this reality doesn't just reflect on the control that you have over such a level, but it's more about transcending the very limits that were defined defined by the gods and redefining what it means to wield the power of destruction in your own unique way, Saiyan. As here you also stood against both Frieza and his brother Cooler, the Veer continues. Siblings united in malevolence, which is a danger that by your current standards would be unimaginable for you to overcome. In this reality, the fallen gods of destruction who had been erased by the Omni King long ago were not resurrected, but instead, this timeline just so happens to house the top 5 strongest warriors in the entire multiverse at its core. So this is what I become after mastering Ultra Ego, Vegeta questions? And while wielding such a power, I also become stronger than a god of destruction? But wait, so who are these so-called top 5 strongest warriors in the multiverse which you speak of? And who am I shown waging this battle with while using this mastered Ultra Ego form of mine? Vegeta went on to then further add, tell me, is this a form that I could also go and achieve here in the present as well, or is this a power that is far beyond my ability to reach? With the Veer responding, well, from what I know, the warrior whom you see standing across from you is a warrior who goes by Budo, and he is in fact the 5th ranking strongest warrior in the entire multiverse, the Veer adds. As I'm not sure on where you might be, but if I didn't know any better and had to take a guess and say, then I do believe that what you are seeing take place before you are the events of the 2nd Tournament of Power. And although these events are still very much clouded as I am unable to see the results of such a battle, this reality, however, stems as the main source of many timelines which branch off of it, with Vegeta responding, and to think that there would exist a timeline where I would stand among the strongest. I can't believe it. But I couldn't be any more proud by what I see, especially now after having to see myself stand amongst the mightiest in the multiverse with a smile on my face. Amazing. But now on to finding the proper timeline so that I can finally go and get my hands on that sneaky god of destruction. And so let's see. Oh, our timeline could be anywhere among these damn windows, but I have to keep trying. And so now here, this one, I choose this one, Vegeta went on to point out. And so show me which reality I'm going to be peering into with this one, as the Veer went on to then respond, very interesting, Vegeta. In this reality, Moro, the consumer of worlds, had went and achieved an unthinkable feat by going and absorbing Ultra Instinct Goku in creating what can only be described as the ultimate body, a vessel not just capable of containing Ultra Instinct's divine power, but also wielding it with malicious intent, the likes of which you had never seen be displayed before you prior to this encounter. Wait, say what? That bastard Moro went and somehow had managed to absorb Kakarot and merge their Ultra Instincts into one? And what about me, Vegeta questions? Was I able to achieve or even master Ultra Ego in this timeline too, or what? Was I able to stop that monster or not? With the Veer responding, in this timeline, you don't have either, as the enemy which you face, who goes by Morku, was shown to have defeated all of you and was only stopped in the end by none other than your angel Whis. Oh, damn that bastard for doing what he did in that timeline, Vegeta went on to look around by responding, but I'm running out of time here and I have to hurry and try and find my way out of here because I only have one more chance left to try. Oh, damn it, but where? Oh, I have to try and sense that destroyer's energy, but where do I begin? Oh, damn it all, I've got to try and focus. Wait a second. Yes, I think I found it, Vegeta shouts. It's faint, but I know that I can sense it. Alright, you little ghoul, you're coming with me, and for your sake, if the window that I choose isn't the correct timeline that I should be in, then it'll be on your head, do you understand? To which back on over within Universe 16, as the angel Rizal was then shown having to speak to Universe 16's god of destruction Pharix, was when Rizal went on to then chime in, so I assume that with the Saiyans out of the way, what exactly is it that you wish to do moving forward, Lord Pharix? And as I don't assume that you just intend on standing around and just waiting for them to suddenly show, well, if they do, of course, and so what is it that you wish to do now that they are all put in their places? With Pharix responding, while I don't intend to wait for these mortals to find their way out improving their sense of intelligence to me, in the meantime, take me to see Lord Beerus at once, Pharix says, as I want want to go and talk to him face to face about something that I didn't, but then it was suddenly now from out of nowhere as everything began to shake was when Pharix had gone as far as to turn back around by then responding, hold on now, did one of them actually manage to find their way back within my universe already? Well, that's quite surprising to see, but I do wonder on which one of those little warriors was the first to make their way back within my presence, Pharix says, to which seconds later as one of the tombs were then shown having to be blown wide open was when Pharix went on to then continue, and from what I can sense that's coming from within the void, I'm honestly not surprised that you would be the one to find your way out first. My, Saiyan, I will admit that escaping the confines of the Window Realm is no easy task, but is rather a testament to your power and ingenuity when faced with unpredictable odds, and so well done. For it seems that Beerus had fostered warriors of substantial caliber after all, Pharix continues. And so how many attempts did you make before finally managing to get something right for a change? With Ultra Ego Vegeta responding, alright, you walking tower of toilet paper, now I'm angry. And now that I'm back outside, I can assure you that you will not be throwing me back within that place ever again. And so now what's it going to be then, God of Destruction? With Pharix responding, now you ask? Well, now is where the fun between you and I is going to begin, false wielder. And so the question that I pose is, are you ready? With Vegeta responding, well, you should already know that you won't be the first destroyer that I made submit beneath the weight of my full power, and just know that this won't be easy. With Pharix responding, oh, well, is that what you think is going to happen? Then I challenge you to come and prove it, which challenge Vegeta did, because upon with Ultra Ego Vegeta now shown having to dash right towards Pharix was when Vegeta then went on to shout, oh, you gods of destruction are really starting to annoy me, but if you wanted to see what our universe is truly capable of, then stay right where you are, destroyer. But unfortunately enough for Vegeta, staying in place was something that Lord Pharix was not willing to do, because upon Lord Pharix being shown having to leap out of the way was when Pharix then went on to respond, well, now you appear to be quite the aggressor among your tribe of Saiyans, but need I remind you that you are in no position to be giving me orders or going as far as to tell me what to do, mortal. But since you assume that you understand destruction, Pharix continues upon being shown firing a blast, then do go on and show me all that your fellow destroyer god had went and taught you, while I test to see on just how skillful you truly are, Saiyan. Oh darn, he's a lot faster than I expected, Vegeta went on to then quickly respond. It's ironic that you claim that I'm the one who lacks the knowledge of what it means to bear the power of a destroyer, when in reality, Vegeta responds, I am far more knowledgeable on how to use the power of a god of destruction than you think that I am, and if you think that by fighting fire with fire is going to help you, then you've already lost. Oh my dear mortal, for you are in way over your head here if you think that I won't already be aware of the things that you will try and use against me, and especially if they derive from the very nature of what it means to be a god of destruction, Saiyan. But surprisingly enough, even then, with Vegeta shown having to avoid one of Pharix's sand strikes upon being shown moving out of the way was when Vegeta then quickly went on to respond, and that's where you're wrong, because not only was your biggest mistake in having to go face to face with me first, but I will also be the last one among us Saiyans here who will ever have the chance to go head to head with you in battle. You think you're the only one who is solely focused on destruction here, Vegeta questions? Well, you're not. Far from it, in fact. And so I'd rather die perishing and knowing that I gave it my all before I'd ever go to even consider bending my knee to your will, destroyer. Well now, what a very interesting display, Saiyan. Now I understand. Yes, for Beerus' choice in choosing you as his student makes sense now. But you can make no mistake about it, Vegeta, for your elementary understanding of godly power is but a fragile foundation that you desperately cling on to, and now, well, now that I can see the cracks that lie within your armor as a warrior, I'm starting to now question on what exactly will be the first to crumble, Pharix continues. Will it be your mind that will be the first to break, or will it be your body that will wither away first? Because now that I can see on what I'll be dealing with, first I will take my time in breaking you down before I finish you, because without the aid of your allies in battle and without the help of your Saiyan friends, you could never beat me, and I'm about to go and prove to you on why exactly that is, Vegeta. As it was only moments after following their initial engagement with Vegeta being shown having to address Lord Pharix directly was when Vegeta then went on to respond, "It's interesting that you speak of experience as if it were the sole measure of a warrior's power, yet you fail to grasp the essence of where true strength comes from, Destroyer. As my journey through power has always been accelerated by my unbreakable will to always fight on," Vegeta continues. "And while you pride yourself on experience, I pride myself on the ability to learn, to grow, and to surpass any expectation that is placed in front of me, Destroyer. So you may in fact know more than me, or at least be able to use that as a way to try and get the better of me. However, one way or another, you will know what it's like to taste defeat by the hands of a Saiyan, and no matter how hard I have to try, I am going to show you on exactly why I am unlike any mortal you have ever seen before, God of Destruction. Because after seeing what I saw within that realm that you threw me into, I know that I can win," with Pharix responding, "Well, your optimism is as misplaced as it is amusing, Vegeta. For you speak of time as though you have enough of it to spare, but just because you were able to catch a glimpse into another reality where you may have appeared stronger than how you currently are right now, it doesn't change the outcome of what is about to happen, Vegeta. And while I trust that Lord Beerus had instructed for you to always keep your mind solely on destruction and nothing more," Pharix continues, "understand that my key to wielding this power effectively lies in my understanding of its true purpose, which is to first torment the spirit, ensuring that defeat is not just physical but psychological before breaking the body. And this lesson, Vegeta, is one that you cannot simply rush into understanding, because judging from what I can see, you're just not built to do that. But not only do I see that you are not as ruthless as you think you are, but from a combat perspective, I don't think that you're as tough as you assume to be," Pharix continues. "And if you think I'm not already well aware of the things that you can do on your own, mortal, then I would advise for you to keep your eyes and ears open at any and all times while you're here, because one little mistake that you make, one little error in your judgment against me, and it may cost you dearly. So now watch." To which, upon Pharix being shown having to point on down before having to unleash a destructive blast directly at Vegeta, was when Vegeta had gone as far as to look on down by then responding, "What's that bastard hinting at by pointing down at the sand below and saying that? Wait, could he be planning to attack me by using the landscape around me as a cover in order to get the better of me? It must be, because for some very strange reason, why do I sense Broly's energy coming from all the way down beneath me? Unless, of course, now I see," with Pharix then having to shout, "Good, now you're starting to get it, Vegeta, but a word of advice for you would be to always keep your eyes on me at all times. And I say that to say that you just won't know where I'd be coming from, so don't assume that you have me all figured out." But it was only just within that very moment, as Ultra Ego Vegeta had gone as far as to leap up out of the way before Pharix was shown dashing towards Vegeta and kneeing him in the ribs, was when Pharix then went on to continue, "And even though you are now starting to slowly catch on to what had taken place here before your re-entry, I can assure you that while you stand here alone, you will never defeat me as you are, students of Beerus, and you never will," with Vegeta responding, "Oh, as if you would know anything about who or what I am to assume that I can't beat you alone is ridiculous, Destroyer. Oh, but I in fact know far more about you than you even care to realize," Pharix responds upon being shown swinging Vegeta around, as one example being on how much you pride yourself on being the so-called apex of an extinct warrior race, with another being on how badly you wish to stay ahead and never fall behind to one of your very own whom you refer to as Kakarot, which was why you even agreed to have Lord Beerus train you when he did in the first place. As you and I both know that this is because you are vulnerable without proper for guidance and weak when attempting to stand on your very own. But all of that aside, if Beerus and Whis had truly found it within themselves to train the likes of mortal warriors such as you and Son Goku, then I want to go and see for myself on why that is and what makes you both worthy of being brought up by the gods and learning of such powers when it was solely designed for us. So I would be lying if I went and said that you mortals were not the first to go and surprise me in such a way after learning of your training by the hands of Whis and Beerus. But, Pharix continues, this is why I am allowing for you warriors to go and prove to me on why you deserve to belong within our ranks. You and Son Goku more than your other ally Broly, since he appears to be dealing with his own matters at the moment. So how will you respond? Pharix questions.
Oh, how is it that your attacks just continue to get heavier and heavier when your energy doesn't appear to change, but rather remain in one place and not increasing or decreasing during the course of our battle? And so what is it that you're doing that's different?
Ultra Ego Vegeta questions.
There must be something. Oh, this is just infuriating. But no matter what you say and no matter what you think of me,
Vegeta continues,
I will never back down against you no matter how hard things end up getting.
With Pharix continuing, how you ask? Well, it's quite simple really, Vegeta, as I just concentrate all of my destructive power into one singular point before attacking, which ultimately channels a large portion of my strength into each and every single one of my attacks, Pharix continues. And so I don't expect for you to understand since you're still very new in using the power of a god of destruction, but needless to say, it doesn't even matter at this point because you aren't going to last long enough to. But then, it was only from out of nowhere within that very moment, just before God of Destruction Pharix even had the opportunity to go as far as to finish his sentence, was when surprisingly enough from out of nowhere beneath Pharix was when Broly's arms were then shown having to lunge on up by grabbing onto Pharix's ankles, with Pharix then having to respond. And what's this? Well, and here I imagine that I'd never have to go and see your face again, but oh how wrong I was, wasn't I? But perhaps I was wrong about you, Pharix went on to acknowledge Ikari Broly as Ikari Broly was slowly being shown emerging from the sands below. Maybe you are indeed worth giving my attention to, however your persistency is what might be a problem, Pharix continues. But I'll make sure to send you back and deal with you when the time calls for you to be dealt with, because at the moment I have other matters to attend. But then, it was yet again now from out of nowhere with a gigantic Hakai ball now being shown making its way towards Pharix was when Ultra Ego Vegeta then went on to shout,
well, why don't you go and attend to this, Destroyer? Now hurry, Broly, let go of him and get down right now!
To which Broly went and did exactly that, because with Broly being shown ducking on down and letting go of Pharix, with Vegeta's Hakai ball being shown having to send Pharix flying outwards, was when Angel Rizal went on to then chime in. Well, that was certainly an unexpected, but dare I even say a brilliant way of ambushing Lord Pharix. But with that same Broly now resurfacing, I'm starting to wonder on how Lord Pharix will deal with more than just one opponent on the battlefield. Well, I'm glad to see that you're still in one piece, Vegeta went on to acknowledge Broly upon Broly being shown having to finally emerge down from the sands below. But I need you to listen and listen up very closely, Broly. Now, while our battle today isn't just a test of our strength, but it's also a testament of our resolve against such an opponent, while I didn't ask for your help, nor do I need your assistance in this battle against him, if you're going to fight alongside me against him, then I need you to balance out your emotions and remember who the real enemy is who we're fighting here. Do you understand? And as long as you remember the training you've undergone and the lessons that you've learned from both Kakarot and myself, Vegeta continues, then you should be just fine. But try not to lose your temper out there and go berserk against him, or you'll be jeopardizing us both. Do you understand? Now, I don't know what that idiot Kakarot is doing, but we can't wait for him to arrive back on the battlefield either, and so just follow my lead and make sure that you keep your eyes locked on him at all times, no matter what. Now wait for my signal, with Ikari Broly responding,
what is he about to go and do?
In which back over on the other side, with God of Destruction Pharix now being shown having to create and use a gigantic Sand Hand of Destruction in catching onto Vegeta's Hakai Ball was when Pharix then went on to respond, "That was quite the move that you two went and tried on me, but I regret to inform you both that your combined efforts of trying to stop me will backfire faster than you can even begin to realize, Saiyans. Now go and take this back to where it belongs, foolish mortals." "Oh darn it, hurry Broly," Vegeta shouts. "Guard yourself while using everything you have and follow my plan right now." To which seconds later, within that very moment, as a gigantic explosion was now shown taking place with God of Destruction Pharix having to oversee this, was when Pharix then went on to chime back in, "What a disgrace, as if that feeble rookie thinks that his destructive energy attacks would be enough to take down a god who's honed his craft in more ways than one. A valiant attempt, I will say, but a foolish one at best. And so now how will they follow?" "Yes, now's our chance, and so push right through until we reach him," Ultra Ego Vegeta went on to shout upon being shown dashing out to smoke with Broly. "Well now, planning on attacking me together, are you? Well, as much as I would love to fight you both," Pharix went on to then snap his fingers, "I'm only interested in one of you for the time being, and the one that I am interested in is the warrior who was trained by Beerus." In which from out of nowhere now, yet again with Pharix now being shown creating another gigantic sand hand as the sand hand went on to grab onto Ikari Broly mid-flight, was when Pharix then went on to continue, "As for the time being, you will know your place within this battle, and you will remain where you are until the time arrives where I call for you, Saiyan. And so until that very moment comes to where I do," Broly went on to get pulled on down back under the ground yet again, "you will stay out of our way and leave us to our business, savage, for you will not be aided in this battle against me, Vegeta." "Why, you backhanded, dirty, no-good coward, I can't wait until I knock those old mummified rags off your face." "Mummified rags, huh? Well, in order for you to go and do that," Pharix went on to respond upon Vegeta being shown missing his strike, "you'll have to go and catch me first in order to try. But speaking of rags, Vegeta, you should never go and judge something based on solely by what you are able to see," Pharix continues. "And as I say that to say that these so-called rags are not in fact what you think they are, but rather something far, far greater," as these bandages went on to wrap around Vegeta's arm and glowing. "For you see, you underestimate the power in which you find yourself entangled with, Vegeta. For my wraps of despair are mere conduits in what is used to break my enemies down, body part by body part, feeble mortal. And once they encase a part of your body," Pharix adds, "they transform that body part to stone, severing its connection to you effectively and isolating it completely." So now are you able to open your eyes and see upon Vegeta being shown pulling off the wraps and noticing his entire arm now covered in stone? And as I want you to go and see now with your very own eyes, and thus further proving my stance on the position that I've taken in now showing you on the difference between my destructive experience in battle and yours, for I am in a far greater league than you even care to comprehend, Saiyan. But in case you thought this was over, oh no, because we are far from finished," Pharix continues. As the beatings then kept on continuing, because with Pharix then shown having to dash on in and kneeing Vegeta in the back of the head before having to grab him by the hair, was when Pharix then went on to continue, "Because now that you are down to just using one of your arms, you can only do so much as we continue. So come then, student of Universe 7's God of Destruction, Beerus. Go and show me on why it is that you are so remarkable to be trained by a destroyer," Pharix went on to then continue upon being shown kneeing Vegeta in the face. "Go and set the example for your God of Destruction by showing me on why you were an exception to his rules. And for your sake, you better try and make this fast, because without the aid of your fellow Saiyans to come and stand by your side in battle against me, you simply can't do it, and you know that you can't," as Broly went on to watch as he was being pulled under the ground. "But while you continue to breathe, you still have a chance to prove your worth to me in exchange for your destroyer's debt with me to be paid. So the question that I ask you then is, will you go and hold up your end of the deal? Because if you don't find a way to use Beerus' training to somehow try and turn things around in your favor against me, then I will continue to pummel your head in as many times as I need to before you are destroyed." As with Universe 16's destroyer now seemingly in complete control, as Vegeta was barely able to stand on his feet, was when Pharix then went on to respond,
"Come now, Saiyan, are your eyes beginning to finally open to the truth behind the things that I have said?
For I want you to go and understand one very important lesson here, mortal, and that is despite you having to venture off where so very few would ever even dream to try and go into, the gap between simply wielding destructive power with barely any experience behind it, when compared to someone who is vastly more experienced than you while using it, is extremely vast. And while you face me alone without the aid of your allies to come help you in battle here against me," Pharix says,
"You don't stand a chance, and you know it, Vegeta. And guess what else, Saiyan? You will never stand a chance against the deity who is able to command the essence of destruction as naturally as he does breathing. And while I wait for you to go and continue to show me what your teacher was able to go and instill upon you, and unless you continue to try and produce for me, then I am going to continue to have my way with you until I have completely broken you in half, Vegeta. And so now hurry and go and defend Beerus' honor before I send you into a world where I guarantee that you will not be coming back from."
Well now, how very interesting, Angel Rizzo went on to then chime in, as while I find this battle to be very intriguing, the disparity in experience between Lord Pharix and Vegeta is painfully clear, and especially with the way Lord Pharix is choosing to go about this contest that he finds himself in. However, it's this strange feeling of resilience which these Saiyans display that appears to be catching my eye the most, especially with Vegeta. For very rarely have I ever seen a mortal endure such a relentless onslaught by a god of destruction and still stand defiant, which only now leaves me to wonder more about them, for I question on if these mortals were to be given more time to grow and evolve, then the question becomes how far would they be able to truly be shown taking themselves if this was how far they were able to make it all on their own within such a short amount of time in doing so. But even then, aside from these two, I wonder on where the other is, for it's been quite some time since we've last seen him here before he was shown being thrown within that tomb, and so now I wonder if he's ever coming back like Vegeta was shown having to do so, or if he'll truly be lost within the Window Realm for all of eternity, because while Broly struggles to break free and thus leaving Vegeta all on his own out there, and I'm afraid they won't last much longer unless something were to change, but let's just wait and see what comes out of this entire ordeal as it does. Which even then, with Pharix shown having to beat Vegeta down, with Vegeta's resilience being shown having to keep him within this fight, was when Pharix then went on to continue,
"Oh, come on, mortal. Where did all of that fire just go? As here you said that you'd be the one that would go and show me on what true destruction feels like, did you not? Well, where is it? 'Cause I'm still waiting, Saiyan."
And while I understand and see why Beerus would go and choose you of all mortals to guide and teach the ways of learning how to use a power similar to that of our own, all you've proven to me upon engaging with you is how much you still have to learn before you can truly call yourself a master of destruction, Vegeta. And here I can't believe that you were somehow able to get the better and outsmart Lord Cobras when you did. For this is just pitiful, and here you said that I was going to know what it felt like to lose by the hands of a Saiyan elite such as yourself.
Why, you, mark my words, Destroyer, you haven't beaten me yet, Vegeta responds, and as long as I still have some fight that's left within me, then you will never be able to take away what keeps me strong.
Hakai. But then, it was only just before Vegeta even had the opportunity to utter the words Hakai was when Pharix was shown having to kick Vegeta's hand away by then responding,
"Oh no you don't. What do you think this is, Saiyan? Do you really take me for a fool here or what? Did you honestly think that by trying to erase me was actually going to work, mortal? For the act of erasure goes far beyond your simple understanding of assuming that you could use this on a god and actually think that it would work in your favor, Vegeta. And for you to dare raise your hand at me the way you did will cost you dearly. For no mortal, no matter how mighty they claim to be, would I ever go and allow
out for them to do onto me as I will do onto you, Vegeta. And while I can now see on why Beerus had taken you under his wing and had trained you to wield our power, I will go and further remind him that despite taking up a Saiyan as being his student, even his so-called best destroyer-wielding fighter was no match for the likes of me. And so now do yourself a favor and don't move so that I can go and show you on how it's really done. Yes, it was a pleasure, Vegeta. But then, it was only just now suddenly from behind Pharix, as a giant noise was then shown having to emanate throughout the entire desert, was when Pharix then went on to further question, what was that just now? Surely that couldn't have been Broly, since he's, wait a second, is it? To which lo and behold now from out of nowhere, as Broly was shown sinking on under beneath the sands above the grounds, as a giant shadow was then shown zipping right by, was where from out of nowhere that was when Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku had now finally made his way back and kicking Pharix in the face with Angel Rizal responding, but of course, for I was starting to wonder on what had been taking that Saiyan so long to find his way back out, as I already had assumed that he went and failed within that realm, but given how both he and Vegeta are now reunited, I'm starting to wonder on how they will go about this, and especially given how Lord Pharix appears to be outnumbered but by no means outclassed or outpowered, since I do believe that Lord Pharix still holds the upper hand here. And so now that the Saiyan was able to find his way back to Lord Pharix, I do believe it's time that we go and find out on just how good he truly is, and especially when considering his accolades and skills after being trained by my brother Whis, as Pharix went on to then stand back up by then responding, so you were finally able to go and find your way back out of my window realm after all now, were you? Well, it took you long enough, and here I was beginning to doubt that you'd ever go and show your face around here ever again. But would you go and take a look at that, for I guess I was wrong to have doubted you after all, with Goku being shown turning his head by then responding, hey, sorry that I wasn't able to make it back here a little sooner than I did, but are you alright, Vegeta? And just what in the world did he go and do to your arm? And where's Broly? With Vegeta responding, well, it took you long enough, you idiot. But he went and turned parts of my arm to stone by using those wraps that cover his entire body, Kakarot. And so you've got to be careful when fighting him, and while Broly has been trying to jump in and get up close within the action against this destroyer, it only turns out that Lord Pharix continued to bury him beneath the sands above, and further keeping him away while deeming him unfit while solely taking action against me, as he looks to only be interested in battling the two of us more than anything. I see. Well, so then I'll go and take it from here since I'm fresh, Goku responds. So in the meantime, you try and go and gather yourself together while I hold him off in the meantime, while also trying to look for a way to go and bring him down, okay? And so alright now, Lord Pharix, I'll be your next opponent from here on, Goku responds. So whatever it was that you wanted to go and get out of Vegeta just now, you can go and try to come and get it out of me now instead, Goku says. And while I understand that you aren't going to be as easy to go and take down as I'd hope, whatever it is that you're planning on trying to go and have us prove here against you will ultimately be what results in your downfall against us. And so I'm ready, with Pharix questioning, oh really? Well, I must say that witnessing your Ultra Instinct in action like this is quite the revelation, for it is a very rare sight to watch a mortal be taken under the wing of an angel and for them to be trained to wield such power, but I hope you know that just like your ally Vegeta, no matter how sure you think that you are and no matter how good you assume yourself to be, you will never be able to find a way to defeat me as you are, and you never will, Pharix says. But I do, however, encourage you to come and try, just as Vegeta did, so that I may go and make an example out of you, just like I had done with him, mortal, with Goku then being shown launching invisible strikes by then responding, well then how about I go and show you on why it's wrong for you destroyers to go and assume that we mortals simply aren't worthy of being on your level when we are, as I'll see to it that you learn of that the hard way, to which as Pharix was then shown dodging all of Goku's attacks was when Pharix then went on to respond, oh, so you think putting faith in your nature as being a mortal who was chosen to be trained by an angel will help you now, do you? Well, you fight like a younger man with nothing held back, son Goku, and while admirable, I can now begin to see that this will be your greatest downfall here against me, because speed will not be all that you will need to use here against me that will save you. And because I can already see on how this is going to go, Pharix continues. I just want you to know that no matter what you think you can try and do against the god of destruction of my experience and stature, you, just like Vegeta, will crumble. Darn, so you're a lot faster than I assumed that you'd be, huh? Goku questions. Well, fine, because if this is what I'm in for here against you, then I'll just have to move even faster than you can react and prove you wrong then, Lord Pharix, and so I'm ready. And so now why don't you come and show me as to what you're made of, and I'll go and respond to your every move in ways which will turn you into a believer, Goku says. To which even then, in the meantime, as this was all shown happening within Universe 16, when then venturing back on over inside of Universe 7, was where we only then observe as to how Whis was shown waiting for his brother upon Beerus being shown talking to Gohan, was when Beerus then went on to respond, say, you look a little nervous here. Don't tell me that you're getting cold feet on me after having to be told that you'll be coming to train with me now, are you? Because for a mortal whom was never shown having to train with either myself or Whis before, I'm more than interested to see on what your newly developed power is really made of, and so do you think you're up for it? With Gohan responding, well, I mean, I'd be lying if I said that I wasn't a little concerned with how this was going to go, but I wasn't going to suggest that I don't want to train with you either, Lord Beerus, but it's just, well, being that we're going to be guided by another angel to train, I just can't help but wonder on how all of this is going to go once we start to train far more seriously, with Whis then having to chime in, ah yes, and just in time to join in on all of the fun as well, for I haven't been this excited to see my brother Avalco train anyone in a very long time, let alone it having to be a mortal and the god of destruction shown having to train together side by side like this. But of course, nevertheless, it looks as though my brother is just about finally having to arrive, Whis says. To which all of a sudden, from out of nowhere within that moment next to Whis, as a giant light source was beginning to emanate and having to touch down, was when Beerus then went on to chime back in, you know, for an angel with many brothers and sisters, I find it rather odd for you to have not spoken to this particular sibling of yours longer than any other, and so now why is that? With Whis then responding, well, that's because this particular brother of mine mainly specializes in training other angels who are rookies prior to being sent off by the Grand Priest to learn of the ways of good and evil, in only being sent out to be able to understand the difference between the two, of course similar to that of my younger brother Maris, and so I don't really get to see this brother of mine often actually, but nevertheless, thus now, here he comes, and with purpose too, with Gohan then questioning, wait, really? Wait, and so this angel brother of yours is mainly in charge of training the other rookie angels and getting them ready for the outside world? Well gosh, this brother of yours sounds like he's pretty intense then when compared to some of your other siblings then, Whis. And so like, are we going to be training here on Lord Beerus's world, or with Beerus quickly responding, well, either way, this aura I'm sensing coming from him feels rather familiar, and almost like I remember him from a very long time ago, and if this is who I think it is, Beerus continues, then that'll surely go and explain everything, but no, we are more than likely not going to be training here on my world because I don't want to run the risk of destroying this place in the process of us having to undergo this training cycle, and so we will see. To where even then, moments later, as Whis' brother was now shown having to touch down in showing himself in arriving on Beerus' planet, was when Whis then went on to continue, well, either way, Lord Beerus, Gohan, allow me the honor of introducing my esteemed brother Avalco. As not only is he a formidable angelic training commander who is very revered across the cosmos for his rigorous training regimens and methods of training, but he also possesses the unique gift of discerning an individual's potential with just a mere glance into their eyes. As under his guidance, every young rookie angel that he had ever taken under his wing has reached unprecedented heights, in further boasting a 100% graduation and success rate, for his insight into potential is unparalleled as it is unique, and especially given his methods in training those who decide to want to go and take under him to go off and learn and train, as Whis went on to then wave by continuing, which speaking of, greetings Avalco, for I can see that you still appear to be doing quite well for yourself, and as I want to go and extend my gratitude in thanking you very much for being here with us in helping me on this matter, with Avalco having to respond, you know, summoning me across the cosmos is no small affair, Whis, and especially since it's been a very long time since you and I have last seen one another, and so this better be important. So now, who was it that you have called me here to have train under me? Where are they now? now, with Whis pointing out, well, I wouldn't want you to travel all this way for nothing now, would I? But nevertheless, they are right over there, as a matter of fact, a destroyer and a mortal. Which to that we have Universe 7's God of Destruction, Lord Beerus, whom you've already know, of course, and a rather new guest of ours here on Beerus's world, a Saiyan half-breed who goes by the name Gohan, with Avalco responding, a destroyer god and a mortal Saiyan, huh? Interesting. Now, even though I will admit and say that while being summoned by my brother here to aid you in your training was not something that I had anticipated, especially to see that I'll be going out of my way to go and train both a god of destruction and a mortal of all beings, nonetheless, here we are, and I want you both to go and understand this. For my intervention will not be a shortcut to greater power, for the path that I will lay down before you both will be filled with challenges that are designed to test your limits and go beyond, as I am only here to ensure that your potential is not just reached, but exceeded in far more ways than just one, as I also happen to see that you are both holding something back which you have yet to come to terms with yourselves. And so in the meantime, I am hereby now in charge of everything that happens moving forward, Avalco continues, as you will both follow my every command or I will send you back to where you came from and ban you from ever being trained by an outside angel ever again. And so now let that be a warning to you both that I will not tolerate quitters or crybabies either. And so now that I have made myself perfectly clear to the both of you, it's time that you all come and follow me, for our training will not be taking place here, but will rather take place within my domain. And so you will both be coming with me, for I will set the course of your training with me to about 5 hours with only 2 water breaks in between, Avalco continues, which that also includes no meals, no timeouts, and no bathroom breaks either, for if you feel the need to vomit, then vomit where you are and jump back into your training. And if you end up defecating yourselves, then that's on you as well, so it's like I said, no breaks and no slacking off, got it? Now let's move, with Whis having to turn back by then responding, well, this should be rather fun now, wouldn't you both agree? So come along now, for we don't want to keep my brother waiting. Well, my brother really isn't a fan of waiting or not being able to take things as seriously as they should be taken, and so it's best if we all just leave with him now and go about our merry way, with Gohan then questioning, wait, hold on, is he serious? 5 straight hours with no breaks in between whatsoever? And that includes no food or even being able to use the bathroom? With Beerus then responding, oh well, what's wrong? Getting cold feet on me already, saying? Well, suck it up and let's move, as you and I both know that you'll be fine, and so now try not to think about it while we go and train with him. And so now hurry it up and let's go get a move on, so that way we can go and be done with this, with Gohan then responding, oh man, well, I guess this is the price that I have to pay for agreeing to go and do this. Well, I guess I have no other choice, and so I hope it proves to be rewarding and pays off in the end then. To where with Broly nowhere to be found, and with Vegeta now down for the count and having to leave this all up to Goku, it was only upon Pharix's initial engagement with Goku was when Pharix went on to then chime in, well now, you appear to be quite the evasive one among your tribe of warriors, and while your mastery of Ultra Instinct is surprisingly formidable, it still remains as a standing target in the face of my power, for you may not know this, Pharix adds, but I could go as far as to see beyond the physical and into the very essence of combat, where every sudden shift and every subtle change is laid bare before me, for each move you make, well calculated as it may be, only goes to open many doors which you yourself, Goku, cannot see. Doors which only allow for my ancient wisdom to breach through your defenses with deadly precision, for my eyes are far older than you can imagine, which allows for me to see the threads of your energy during our battle in predicting and countering your every attack with ease of countless millennia of experience behind my gaze, Saiyan. But even then, despite with Goku now being shown having to avoid and dodge each and every single one of Pharix's attacks, was when Goku then went on to question, well, if that's true, then why don't we go and put your eyes to the test then? But upon Goku now being shown having to throw a punch, it was only from out of nowhere where Pharix had now gone as far as to duck on under in avoiding Goku's strike, as Pharix went on to then respond, attempting to test my experience with such arrogance behind your tone only goes as far as to show me that despite being trained by Universe 7's angel Whis, you do not seem to share his tranquil nature, since you already appear to believe that you have me all figured out when in reality, Goku, I can sense a tremor coming from deep within your spirit. Pharix went on to then quickly respond upon being shown grazing Goku's face, which is a sign of nervousness that only makes me question on whether you were properly trained by your universe's angel or not. Because as you can see, Pharix surprised Goku with a knee to the gut, just as it was upon me having to tell you that my eyes could see far beyond what you hope to display against me. Because despite a mortal such as yourself being trained by an angel, Pharix continues, with myself as well as the other destroyers lacking being able to wield the ability that you are using, my strategy against you is quite simple but extremely effective, and that is by adding relentless pressure by keeping you under constant assault, Goku. And while I find it ironic for a mortal such as yourself to have reached such supreme levels, Pharix responds upon being shown headbutting Goku away, given on how you were trained by an angel to do it, no matter how hard you try and no matter how many attempts you make, you will never fight on par like one, nor will you ever be able to match one's ability through experience, with Goku responding,
oh damn it, I've got to try and relax myself while he's hot on my tail.
Well, if there's one thing that I will go and tell you, Goku went on to respond upon once again being shown having to dodge each and every single one of Pharix's attacks, is that no matter how strong or how skilled you claim to be, the one thing that you shouldn't go and do is underestimate our ability to find a way to overcome the odds that we're faced with and best you in combat, and especially when you least expect for it to happen, God of Destruction. And while I'm still picking my spots here against you right now, Goku adds, it'll only be a matter of time before I gas you out, and that's when I'll go and show you on what I'm really all about, Lord Pharix. But even despite with Goku attempting to strike Pharix, with Pharix quickly shown getting beneath the sand underneath him, was when Pharix then went on to respond, oh, how very smug of you to already assume that you could win when you and I have only just begun, mortal. But if you continue to insist like this, then let's wager this assertion of yours then, shall we? Now let's see. With Goku quickly responding, then how about we go and do just that then, Destroyer? Wait, oh, he disappeared again. But where did he manage to go and run off to this time is the question. Oh, damn it, because I'm unable to get any sort of reading on his life force, which likely means that he's hiding somewhere, Goku adds, but where? Because he couldn't have gotten very far from where I currently am, and so he's probably going to try to flank me from a position where I'm most vulnerable in, because there's no way that he's crazy enough to try to come at me head on when he knows that he won't be able to hit me. Oh, and so now where is he? With a staggering Vegeta being shown having to pull himself up from the ground by then shouting, oh, don't just stand there, Kakarot! Hurry and move out of the way now, for it's a trap! As he's trying to bait you into thinking that he's out of options when he's not. And so don't let him wrap those bandages around any part of your body or he'll turn it to stone! Damn it, Kakarot! Get out of the way right now! But then, it was only just then from out of nowhere, before Goku even had the opportunity to react, was from out of nowhere beneath Goku, a pair of bandages were then shown having to wrap themselves around Goku's legs, as Goku then went on to quickly respond, what the? Wait, he could just spawn these bandages instantly from the ground like that? And why can't I seem to be able to move? I'm stuck. And stuck you are, mortal, Pharix responds from out of nowhere, right where it is that I want you to be as well. Oh, quickly, Kakarot, don't try to engage against it, and go and use your instant transmission to hurry and get out of the way now, Vegeta shouts. But then, unfortunately for Goku, as Goku was unable to move with the giant sand fist then shown crashing into him, was when Pharix then went on to continue, not a chance, Vegeta, as if I would be foolish enough to allow for your ally to go and try and escape my clutches this early into our battle would have been far too careless. But is this what you are both proud of representing, mortals? Pharix went on to then question, was this the best that Universe 7's God of Destruction and Angel were able to produce after agreeing to accept you both as their students? Was Beerus truly that lazy that he didn't even bother to get a sense that you Saiyans just aren't worthy of carrying the titles of being known as the students of the gods? And yet that stubborn Beerus still wonders on why he is so disliked by the rest of us, Pharix continues. And while I find myself puzzled by Whis' choice by having to choose you as his student while Beerus harbors Vegeta as his. While you and I remain engaged, I now ask you, Saiyan, Pharix continues upon now being shown having to dash on up from underneath the sand. Do my eyes continue to lie when I said that I was able to see beyond the physical in order to exploit the weaknesses of your power? Because now I want to know on why in the heavens would an angel invest so much time and put so much effort into helping evolve you when this was the result of what it would end up being. To which, as Pharix was then shown uppercutting Goku in the face before dropping back down, was when Pharix went on to then continue. So now face it, mortal, despite studying and being trained by the gods, you simply cannot best me on your own while in this contest against me, and in case you needed to be reminded of what we agreed on, our wager still stands, and so while you are still able to function, I suggest for you to quit.
I can't quit now, even if you are vastly more experienced than we are, Goku responds. And so I just can't back away from this fight now because there's still so much more that's left for me to prove against you, and so I'm not giving up yet.
With Pharix continuing, you feeble creature, you are a fool to think that you can beat me all on your own, whereas you should have listened to your friend. Because now that a large part of your ability to move freely against me will remain immobilized in battle, Pharix continues, it would be wise for you to accept your standing against me here and now while I'm offering you another chance to admit your defeat, Saiyan. And while my wager with you all remains, I can assure you mortals that you will not come to see the day where I will relinquish my issues with Universe 7's God of Destruction. Now look down. To which, as Goku was then shown having to look on down and noticing his feet now all of a sudden turned to stone, was when Goku then went on to respond,
Oh no, Vegeta was right, and I can't seem to be able to move my feet at all. And so what do I do now if I'm unable to stand, let alone go and try to do anything else? Oh no, I can't stop now because we've come too far just to simply lose like this.
But it was only then, surprisingly enough, with Vegeta now shown standing back up in the distance, was when Vegeta went on to then chime in.
Oh, and as much as I hate to agree with the idiot, Kakarot's right, because so as long as there is still some fight that's left within our spirits, we won't stop fighting you until we win.
With Pharix responding, Ho, back for more, are you? Interesting. Now tell me, student of Beerus, and what makes you so sure that you will actually be able to pull off some sort of victory against me? But then, it was only right upon Vegeta having to be shown answering Pharix's question was when from out of nowhere, that was when Ikari Broly was then shown bursting up from the sand and having to grab onto Pharix from behind, with Vegeta responding,
well, for one, we still have Broly, and so you might want to think fast because he's not finished with you here either, God of Destruction. And so now quickly, Broly, hold him right there, and whatever you do, don't let go of him until I say so. And whatever it is that you do, do not let him break your hold on you.
To which, as Vegeta was then shown quickly making his way towards Pharix, was when Pharix then went on to quickly respond,
and you honestly think that relying on this beast to hold me in place while you go on the attack will be enough, Saiyan?
No, I don't think so, because attempting to ambush me while using this brute as your muscle against me won't work either.
And so you may continue to try as you'd like against me.
Pharix went on to then quickly turn his back by having Vegeta crash into Broly before smiting Broly into Vegeta away.
But the end result between you mortals will always remain the same against me. And so you may go and join forces in thinking that there is strength in your unity, as your numbers are but a whisper within the wind when up against the storm of my destructive experience. For you mortals should have thought twice before accepting my challenge and knowing that you are all still going to lose, but even now, I welcome your unity against me, for that will fail too.
To which, surprisingly enough, upon Pharix being shown having to blow Vegeta, Goku, and Broly back and having the sands beneath them grab onto them and clutching them within their fists, was when Pharix then went on to continue, you. And so now while you continue to defy the odds, allow me to go and remind you, warriors, on why your training with the gods over in Universe 7, with the exception of Broly, isn't going to get you very far while you're here to face me in my universe. And now, with nowhere left for you to go, the three of you are left wide open for me to pick and choose in seeing which one of you I want to go and get rid of first. Yes, and since you mortals appear to have a habit of getting in the way of one another to help aid them, I can only promise you all that there will be no more interruptions from this moment on. For you knew that you couldn't possibly dream of beating me alone, and since you knew that you couldn't, well, at least now you will all have the liberty of being eliminated and buried beneath my planets together forever. As Goku then went on to look on over by addressing Vegeta and then responding,
"Well, hey Vegeta, I know this might sound like I'm shooting in the dark here, but I do believe that it's the only shot that we have at winning here, and so if we do manage to somehow break away and have a moment to ourselves, then what do you say we go and do the fusion dance so that way we can be done with this for good?" With Vegeta responding, "You what? Oh, you have some nerve, Kakarot, we're stuck!" But even now, why in the world are you thinking about fusion when you should be thinking of a way on how to break free from these things instead? As you know that I don't like joining bodies with you, but even then I know that we can still find a way to beat him if we go and attack him together, Vegeta continues, which means that we can't let him out of our sight and continue to wear him down until we have beaten him. With Goku responding, "Yeah, I know, but what if we just can't simply do it, Vegeta? What if it all ends up backfiring on us, since it's clear that he's a lot stronger than we are if we try fighting him alone, and so we're all out of option?" But then, it was only just when Goku and Vegeta had gone as far as to look on over and noticing something happening with Broly was when Vegeta went on to then chime back in, "Wait a second, oh no, Broly's starting to allow for his rage to get the better of him, and so if he doesn't find a way to control it, then that God of Destruction isn't going to be the only one that we're gonna have to deal with here, Kakarot." "Yeah, you're right," Goku responds. "Broly, hey Broly, listen, just try and listen to our voices and calm down and don't allow for yourself to be lost within the voids of your anger here. And I know that you can hear me, and so please just try to control yourself like how we tried showing you on Lord Beerus' planet, and just go and try to remember your training with us so that way you can go and calm down." But even despite with Broly's hair beginning to flicker from a blackish to a greenish color, with Vegeta being shown readdressing Goku, was when Vegeta went on to then respond, "Oh, he doesn't seem to be listening, Kakarot. Listen, I know that you can hear me, Broly. Just try to remember what it was that me and Vegeta had taught you. Just please, don't let your power be dictated by your instincts," Goku continues. "Go and use your mind and be the one who is in control and not the other way around. We know that you can do it, and so just remember." But then, it was just upon as quickly as it was shown happening, with Broly now shown breaking free and unleashing the true nature of his power before reverting back down to his base form, was when Vegeta went on to then quickly shout, "I think he did it. His hair and his aura was shown momentarily changing to green, and so he did listen. But how was he able to break free, but we can't seem to be able to do it? Oh, damn it. Well, we need to hurry up and break loose before that destroyer is able to make his way towards us, Kakarot. And so now hurry it up and do what you can and push now, Kakarot." "Yeah, I know, but I can't seem to be able to do it either, Vegeta, especially not while having parts of my body turn to stone, and so I'm trying here, Vegeta, but it's not working. Broly, hurry and come and try to give us a hand here before Lord Pharix attacks us again." To which even then within that moment, despite with Broly trying, with Broly unable to break Goku free, was when Goku then went on to continue, "Oh, damn it. It doesn't look as though he is able to make this thing budge, and what's worse now is now that God of Destruction is making his way towards us right now, and so we have to hurry." As Pharix then went on to quickly shout, "So it seems as though I may have underestimated you after seeing what I just briefly saw, but since now I was able to see exactly what your ally meant when he spoke about your potential upon coming here," Pharix adds, "you aren't going to slip by my efforts in freeing those Saiyans, especially not while I have you locked within my sights, Broly." To which upon the early stages of their training, with Whis and Navalco being shown having to observe, was when Whis went on to then chime in, "And it's quite fascinating to observe, isn't it, brother? Both Lord Beerus and Gohan have shown commendable determination in wanting to see this training camp of yours through until the very end, and
dare I even say, it would seem as though they are striving to break a few records here too. But what do you think so far, Whis Questions? Since we've been here now for a little over an hour, which one of them do you believe will be the first to be successful in undergoing your training camp and reaching the levels of power in which they both seem to want to go and achieve? Do you think that it'll be the mortal Saiyan Gohan, or do you believe that it will be the God of Destruction Lord Beerus, with Angel of Akko responding, neither of them from what I can see if they both continue to keep this going. However, as we observe their spirited efforts, it is clear that they both possess remarkable potential, but the road in having them both reach their ultimate levels of power remains a lengthy one, Akko continues, and as their current struggle, while impressive, are merely just the first steps on a much longer journey towards true mastery, and once I've seen that they are both willing and able to give me more than what they are shown giving me now, is when the true test in pushing them both beyond their limits will begin, with Whis responding, oh, so I see. And how much did you say again that those catching balls that they are trying to pull across that line over there weighs? With Akko responding, given how I've given them the smaller orbs of the bunch for starters, each of the catching balls that they are pulling weighs in at about 500,000 tons, to which as Beerus and Gohan were just about to cross the line was when Beast Gohan then went on to chime in,
oh, darn it, that's not fair, Lord Beerus.
You tricked me into thinking that the chains were loosened so that way you can go and get a head start before me. And so that's not fair because you technically cheated, with Beerus responding,
oh well, mortal, you snooze, you lose, and so don't go trying to blame me for something that you should have already thought twice about, because it looks as though like I'll be the one to go and finish this first between us.
To which as Beerus was then shown doing, it was only just then with Beerus being shown now having to finally cross the finish line was when Beerus then went on to continue, which speaking of being the first to cross the finish line, there we finally go.
And as I am the one who will be the first to complete this training camp between us, mortal, and not you.
And so now but then, it was only just upon with the chains around Beerus now having to be shown snapping and falling down to the ground was when Akko then went on to chime in, now don't get too far ahead of yourself just yet, God of Destruction, for you have only just began to traverse through the outer perimeter of your training, and so if you happen to harbor any thought that you were out of the woods just yet, then you might want to reconsider your optimism, because we are only now just beginning to peel back the layers of your potential, and especially as we now head into the next stage of our training, which conveniently now for you will just so coincidentally happen to involve hand-to-hand combat, Destroyer of Akko went on to then dash in. For this next drill will strip down the complexities of your power and focus solely on the primal aspects of your skills in battle. And so now you better not let your guard down while engaging in battle against me, Destroyer of Akko went on to then hit Beerus with his staff by responding, or else I will break you down and wear you out faster than you can possibly hope to imagine. And so now go and give it your all while battling against me, and do not let the pressure of this next drill be what hinders your ability to fight by using your all, Destroyer. Oh dear, well careful now while engaging against my brother Lord Beerus, Whis went on to then chime in, and whatever it is that you go and try to do it while giving it your all against him, my lord. To which as Akko was then shown attacking Beerus, it was only just as Beerus was shown barely having to avoid each and every single one of Akko's staff strikes was when Akko went on to then continue, in order for you to fight me at your absolute best, you will first need to imagine yourself in a scenario where you are fighting for your survival, Destroyer. And while locked within this battle for your survival, if you wish to walk away with your life, you will need to go and give me everything, Akko says. And so now that you understand this, what will you go and choose to do, God of Destruction? Do you wish to quit wasting my time and show me the full extent of your destructive powers? Are you going to tap into your inner nature and reveal to me a worthy power that is worth training? Or should I go and simply fail you now for wasting my time here because I could see each and every single one of your moves coming before you are able to make them?
Oh, who does this angel think he is to go and talk to me as if I'm some kind of a rookie here? Oh, you might be fast,
Beerus went on to then quickly respond,
but just you wait until I go and get a hold of you as soon as you stop swinging your staff at me. Hey, are you even listening to me? What could you possibly be looking at while in the middle of a fight against me, Commander? You better hope that I don't break right through your strikes and grab hold of you.
To which as Akko was then shown having to look down was when Akko then went on to chime in, good, so it would seem as though the second one has also completed the first task at hand. end, which now means that he too will be joining the Destroyer in stepping into the second stage of their training. Excellent, and so now let us go and proceed with the pressure, to which as Gohan was then shown looking on down and noticing his chains also now shown having to snap off, was when Gohan then went on to respond. Oh, there we finally are now. Hey, what the? Why do these chains automatically loosen the very moment one of these drills that Angel of Valko placed before us is completed? Well, either way, talk about perfect timing, because for a second there I really didn't think that I was gonna make it, but now that these chains are just about to fall off, I better hurry and go see what he's putting Lord Beerus through before he goes in. But then, it was only just within that very moment as Beerus was shown attempting to strike Ivalco, with Ivalco all of a sudden now shown having to vanish, was when Beerus then went on to quickly ask, "Are you even listening to me, Angel? Oh, now I got you. What the? What? Oh, and where the heck did he just go?" To which as Ivalco was then shown getting behind Gohan, was when Ivalco then went on to respond, "And as for you, you're not out of the woods just yet either, because similar to that of your God of Destruction, I'm not finished with you either, not by a long shot, and so as long as while you're here with me, you will continue to be pushed as well. And so now prepare to engage this next drill by using the truth and source of what drives your will to fight." Ivalco went on to then smack Gohan in the sky by responding, "For you will both now be directly involved in direct hand-to-hand combat, warriors." To which as Gohan was then shown being slammed into Beerus, it was only with the two warriors now seemingly disoriented upon having to continue their training was when Beerus then went on to chime back in, "God, why, you idiots? What are you, blind or what? Get away from me and be on guard." Beerus went on to then shove Gohan by continuing, "For if he's declaring that we are now in a hand-to-hand combat scenario, then do yourself a favor and keep your half of the beatings on your side." With Gohan responding, "Gosh, Lord Beerus, just take it easy, would ya? It was only an act." But then, it was only once again now from out of nowhere, with Ivalco being shown having to dash right in between Gohan and Beerus and simultaneously now being shown striking them, was when Ivalco then went on to continue, "Now since when did I say for the two of you to lose sight of the bigger picture here and take your eyes off me? Because I didn't, for I can sense that the pressure is now starting to get the better of both of you, seeping into the cracks of your resolve, and that is where I need you both to pay attention the most, because it is the fundamentals of pressure that molds a warrior into becoming even greater than what they once knew. And so now resume your positions and engage with me at once, or I will go and put you both to sleep." "Oh, fine, then let's show him what we're made of, Lord Beerus, so I'm ready whenever you are," Gohan responds, with Beerus then having to chime in, "On me then, mortal, and make sure that your eyes don't wander away from him either, and so now fire!" But then, it was only just despite with Beerus and Gohan being shown having to fire energy blast at Ivalco, with Ivalco now shown smacking them right back down at Beerus and Gohan, it would only now appear as though despite with the two of them now being shown working together, as this had proven not to be enough in having to stop Ivalco, was when Ivalco then went on to respond, "Yes, there we are, now we're talking, but I know that this isn't the best that either of you can dish out against me, and so now go and take these back where they rightfully belong and quit wasting my time." To which as Gohan and Beerus were then shown kicking their own blasts away, it had only become fairly evident now that Ivalco was demanding more from the two, as Ivalco then went on to continue, "As I want to go and see on how badly the two of you want to succeed, because under any other umbrella, despite with one of you being a god while the other being a mortal, could only bring yourselves to go so far all on your own, which is why I will continue to apply as much pressure as I possibly can until you are both able to ascend." With Gohan responding, "Man, so he's not going to let up even for a second until he is able to get what he wants out of us then, huh? Well, I guess we're left with no other choice than to continue to push through." With Beerus then responding, "Oh, well, if that means going beyond my prime and getting back at those destroyers for their constant disrespect, then I'm ready to do what I must to reach my end goal. And while I'm starting to notice that you are both beginning to grow tired," Ivalco went on to look on down by responding, "this is going to be the one and only small break that you will both have until we are finished, and so I want you both to go and keep that in mind, and since you were both also shown dragging those catching balls across while standing on your feet," Ivalco continues, "now I want to see you strap those chains back around your bodies, because now I want to see you try and climb above the following obstacle for the second part of your training. And don't assume that your hand-to-hand combat portion of the training is over either, because upon the moment where I go and tell you both to resume is when the two of you will go and get right back to it, and so now let's move." To which in the meantime, all the while when then venturing back into Universe 16, scene, it was only just upon with Universe 16's God of Destruction Pharix being shown having to dash right towards Broly's direction despite with Broly attempting to free Goku was when Pharix then went on to quickly shout, "And while I should have went and made sure to have gotten rid of you first after seeing that brief moment of power that you went on and displayed in order to free yourself, I am going to make sure to put you away for good so that way the other two are without a hope of survival, Saiyan." Wait a second, I have an idea, Goku then went on to quickly address Broly by responding. "Listen to me, go and move out of the way right before he attacks you and let him go smash his way into the Sand Fist instead." "Right," Broly says, to which upon Broly then being shown quickly moving out of the way as Pharix went on to smash right into Goku was when Pharix then went on to quickly respond, "Of course you would. What's wrong, mortal? I thought your race of warrior creatures were never known to respond as such cowards to run away, but I'm not going to let you get away from me that easily," to which upon Goku being shown dropping on down to the floor was when Goku then went on to quickly respond, "There, it works. Now quickly, Broly, go and use every bit of force that you can and pull together and send him flying into Vegeta next." To which that was exactly what Broly ended up doing, because upon Broly then being shown having to quickly kick Pharix into Vegeta was when Pharix then went on to quickly shout, "Oh, are you annoying little bugs? Now I see on what exactly your little plan was to use against me. And because they baited me into attacking them, now I'm starting to become very annoyed at the fact, but this one, there is something very off-putting about this Saiyan here that is different than the other two, despite being unable to wield the power of a god or beyond one in battle. But why is that? Why is this one so different when compared to the other two, and yet he doesn't appear to harbor any other power beyond this one? For this one here could prove to be the biggest challenge among them if I am not careful, but I was wrong to assume otherwise, because there appears to be a far greater and far more aggressive power that I sense lying deep within his spirit, and so I must be careful, because if he is anything as Goku described for him to be, then I have to go and keep my eyes on this one at all times just to make sure that he doesn't ascend further, as Goku then went on to chime in, "Well, it's a good thing that we're free now, but can you move, Vegeta, because we've got to try and..." But then, it was only from out of nowhere with Broly going as far as to interrupt the two by sticking his arms out was when Ikari Broly then went on to chime in, "Listen to me, you now, Kakarot and Vegeta, stay and don't move." In which, interestingly enough, with a strange energy now beginning to leave Broly's body and surrounding Goku and Vegeta was when Goku then went on to respond, "Hey, wait a minute, Vegeta, are you seeing this too? Broly's energy, it's reversing the effects of what Lord Pharix did to our bodies." "The stone," Vegeta responds, "it's starting to disintegrate, but how is his energy able to just simply reverse the effects of this so easily?" To which, as Broly was then shown powering up, was when Pharix then went on to quickly chime back in, "Now I see on what it was that he just did, for there is something within Broly's savage and unrefined power that acts as a counterbalance to the structured destruction that I currently wield, as it appears to be a stark contrast to the refined disciplined powers that both Goku and Vegeta wield as well. For now I am able to understand, and so you propose to challenge the might of a destroyer with mere solidarity, do you? Well, so be it then. But I will go and warn you all now that this will be the last time that you mortals are shown blindsiding me like how you were just shown doing, as I will go and prove to you all on exactly why that is, mortals. As I have seen countless warriors across countless galaxies band together in the face of my power, only for them to be eradicated in the end with nothing left to show for their efforts against me but dust. And although I will say that I have never in my time as a god of destruction have ever encountered mortal warriors who are anything like the three of you, all this simply means is that you will go down in the history books as being the first to actually force my hand in battle by trying, and so you should all feel honored. But if you think that I will fall to any one of Beerus's mortals as a result of this contest, then you have already lost, and with the little amount of experiences that you share by wielding power on the level or beyond that of a god, you are all doomed. As Vegeta then went on to chime in, "Oh, you see, it's like I said, Kakarot," Vegeta went on to then quickly respond, "we can still find a way to win aside from using fusion, because while we continue to stand across from him, I know that we could find a way to beat him." With Goku then having to respond, "Well, if that's the case, then let's hold off on fusion and let's unless we absolutely can't find a way to beat him, and let's go and try and combine our skills in combat and take him down as one then, because at this rate, it's the only other shot that we have at defeating him. And so now, given the nature of how you kept insisting for us in order to stand a chance against you, Goku responds, that we'd have to go and fight you as one, well, that's exactly what we're going to go and do, God of Destruction. And while fighting you together as one, and since we don't have anything left to lose, and now that we all understand on what we're up against, we're about to now go and show you on just what our universe is really made of, with Vegeta then having to respond, and if you're truly as good and vastly more experienced in battle than we are, then now will be the perfect time for you to go and prove it, because if there's one thing that you should never go and do is that you should never underestimate the might of the Saiyan race, especially when they fight as one. Then so be it, Pharix went on to then approach the Saiyans by then responding, for I welcome you fools to come and attack me as one, but just remember that it'll be your grave that I will be standing on by the end of the day, for empires that fight till their dying breath are often ones that perish in vain, as it is a cycle that is as old as time itself, and you three will be no difference. For pride leads to failure and resistance leads to ruin, as you mortals of the 7th universe will become just another example of this ancient truth, and a further testament of your foolish defiance against a destructive force that you simply cannot comprehend. And so now come and see for yourselves if you truly wish to experience my words in real time, and I will gladly go and remind you all on exactly why you were forced to fight me together, and that is because you could never possibly hope to go and defeat me alone, Saiyans. As with neither party looking to leave anything on the table, it was only just upon with Pharix now shown having to power up was when Pharix then went on to respond, and so now that I have extended my invitation in welcoming you all to your destruction against me, if there was ever a better time for the three of you to reveal the secrets behind what you believe makes you stand out amongst the rest as being Universe 7's mightiest and most powerful mortal warriors, then this is going to be your one and only final chance to prove it to me, because after this battle is over and done with, I am going to obliterate you mortals and prove that Beerus' warriors are nothing more than a flash in the pan once and for all. And so now go on and show me this so-called warrior spirit that your race appears to take great pride in, and I will go and respond in the only way that I know how, and that is by first breaking your bodies in half, followed by then going and breaking your warrior spirits after, to which as Goku, Vegeta, and Broly were then making their way towards Pharix was when Goku then went on to quickly respond, alright, now listen, whatever happens while we're locked and engaged in battle against him, don't stop putting the pressure on him until one of our sides ends up breaking first, you got it? And so now let's go and put him in his place and show him exactly what we're made of, to which as they were then shown having to do so, it was only just upon immediate contact with Broly, Goku, and Vegeta being shown having to smash right into Pharix was when Pharix then went on to quickly respond, you call this a battle? This is but child's play to me, mortals. And here I expected more of an impact, so is this truly the best that Universe 7 has to offer? This is what your God of Destruction is proud of, because if this is the hardest that you mortals can collectively come together and hit me with, then you are all completely doomed and we have hardly even started fighting yet. And so now show me. Show me what you worms kept referring to when you talked about your warrior's pride, to which as Vegeta and Goku were then shown having to attempt to kick Pharix was when Vegeta then went on to quickly chime back in, bro, like you would know anything about pride, destroyer. What could you ever possibly hope to fight for when your one and only main goal is to judge those whom you deem to be lesser life forms than you and destroy them without a trace? You have no honor, whereas we fight for something that is far greater than you can ever hope to imagine. Oh, spare me the pity, mortal, Pharix went on to lean on back by then grabbing onto Goku and Vegeta's leg. What you Saiyans fight for is but an abstract construct compared to what we gods of destruction are given to uphold, and it stretches far beyond what your primitive little minds can understand, Pharix went on to continue upon being shown knocking Broly back. For why do you think us gods despise your governing God of destruction, Beerus, for, huh? Well, it's simple, for it is the exact same reason that because we deem him to be unworthy of standing among us, that we also find it impossible to believe that his universe of all places would harbor such powerful warriors such as yourselves, which is exactly why I had brought you mortals here for, to test you in seeing where you stand. Whoa, how very interesting, Angel Riza went on to observe by then having to chime in from afar. Though Lord Pharix possesses immense power, arguably surpassing that of the Saiyans in raw strength, there is an element at play here that could tilt the scales in the Saiyans' favor, and from the looks of it, that very element just might in fact turn out to be their sheer determination, Rizel continues. And with the Saiyans' resolve to see this battle through until the end and actually win, their unwillingness to yield could prove to be a problem if this battle isn't brought to an end quickly, because even as I see it happening now, it is this kind of determination and focus that could very well turn the tide against Lord Pharix in this battle if he isn't careful, because I can already see based on their fighting patterns, Riza went on to then continue, that those two who are left with him, this Goku and Vegeta, appear to share a similar sort of chemistry in battle, as it would only seem as though they may have actually worked in battle once before, to which as Pharix was then shown knocking Vegeta away was when Pharix then went on to chime in, well now this is interesting, you two appear to be attempting to fight me while in sync with one another, are you? Yes, which only goes as far as to tell me that this isn't the first time that you two have teamed up before, now has it? Yes, but of course, now I see on why you are both able to move in a very similar way in battle when engaging me as one. But if you honestly believe that I haven't dealt with such odds in my time before, Pharix went on to continue upon now being shown having to uppercut Goku in the stomach, then you can guess again, students of Universe 7, as I am ready for it. And but then, it was only now suddenly from out of nowhere with Goku now being shown having to grab onto Pharix's entire arm was when Goku then went on to quickly respond, "Oh, Vegeta, hurry! I've got him held in place, and so you've got to go and make a move on him right now! And so I might not be able to hold him here for long! Oh, so is that what you think is going to work on me?" But then, it was yet again now from out of nowhere with Ultra Ego Vegeta now shown having to blast Pharix from behind was when Vegeta quickly went on to then chime in, "Oh, why don't you just give it a rest already? Quickly, Broly! He's wide open and so hold nothing back. Now watch your back and take cover, Kakarot. Now send him right back to me." Alright, he's all yours then, Goku went on to duck on under as Broly made his way in to kick Pharix into Vegeta. And so now let's hurry and circle back around him so that way he isn't able to get a single inch to recover, Goku shouts. Oh yes, that's right, Vegeta went on to then chime back in as Pharix made his way towards Vegeta. Yes, now I've got you locked within my sights, you sneaky fool. And this time, you aren't going to be turning anyone's arm to stone. But then, it was only just as Pharix had gone as far as to readjust his body and having to smash his way right into Vegeta was when Pharix then went on to respond, "And you think that by having you be the one to make that call against me will be what wins you the battle? No, I don't think so. As none of your collective attempts, no matter how badly you try, will be enough to keep me down, mortal. And while your spirit calls for you to continue to resist me in battle despite knowing that you have no chance of besting my ability to use the power of destruction better than I can, none of you will be effective enough to do anything against me that will change that," Pharix continues. "Why you?" Broly says, with Vegeta then shockingly enough having to stick his arm out at Pharix by then responding, "And that's exactly where you went wrong, especially if you think that we don't have the ability to push right through you, destroyer. Because you aren't the first, as I'm sure that you're not going to be the last of them either," Vegeta went on to then blast Pharix up in the sky by then responding, "What are you waiting for? Quickly now, Broly! Don't allow for him to get an inch on us, and while he's unable to attack, go and launch your attack upwards and blast that bastard right now! Remember how he tried to talk down upon you and how he tried to demean your legacy as a Saiyan warrior, Broly? Now blast him!" And blast Universe 16's God of Destruction Broly did, because with Broly and Vegeta's combined attacks now shown creating a massive explosion in the sky was when Vegeta then went on to continue, "There we are, and so I know that should have at least proven to be enough to do some kind of damage. It just has to, because there's no way that he will be able to emerge from such an attack like that unscathed. And so now where is he? Because I I know he's planning something up there, to which as soon as Pharix was then shown dashing on down, it was only proven now that Pharix had only sustained minimal amounts of damage despite having both attacks having to collide into him, as Pharix then went on to shout,
"A valiant attempt, but how many times must I go and tell you, mortals, that you won't be able to win?"
But then, it was just from out of nowhere as quickly as it happened, with Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku now shown having to use his speed and getting behind Pharix and grabbing him, was when Goku then went on to respond,
"Oh no, you don't. You're not getting rid of me, nor am I going to let you go past me that easily, Lord Pharix. Broly, Vegeta, listen! I'm not sure on how long I'll be able to hold him, and so if you're going to attack him, then hurry and do it now!"
Very interesting, Raizo went on to continue to observe by responding, and as I find myself intrigued by the resilience and resourcefulness of these Saiyans, as it would only appear as though each time Lord Pharix mounts an attack with the hope of isolating one of them, it would only go as far as to show that the others would quickly converge to shield and support the one whom is placed in danger, in thus turning what would be a moment of vulnerability into an opportunity of teamwork for them, Raizo continues, and as I will go as far as to say that this does speak volumes about their growth as warriors, but the only one among them who doesn't seem to be as sharp as the other two is the Saiyan that goes by Broly, which only now makes me further question on whether or not this is the very first time that he was ever shown having to work with these two Saiyan mortals or not. Interesting. Well, either way, I don't see these warriors pulling through against Lord Pharix with the clean victory over him in the end. However, I will go as far as to say that if this continues to go the way that it does, then, well, this might pose a much greater challenge for Lord Pharix than how he originally intended. To which, back up towards the sky with both Broly and Vegeta shown having to smash into Pharix before Goku was from that point then shown having to knock Pharix back down onto the ground, was when Goku then went on to chime in, "We went and tried telling you once before, but maybe now you can start to open your eyes and see that even if you are stronger than us with vastly more battle experience than us, even then we would much rather perish in battle against you and be destroyed trying than ever let you try and walk all over us like how you wanted to do." But it was only with Pharix then shown having to land back down on his feet before proceeding to fire multiple energy blasts towards the sky, was when Pharix then went on to respond,
"The tales of your foolish tropes while being instructed by a worthless and lazy god of destruction such as Beerus has only blinded you fools from the truth, even if you just so happen to be able to wield the power of a god. And while you blindly continue to resist me in battle, I will carry on and continue to tear into your warrior spirits until I have ripped away the very core of what drives you mortals in battle, as I go and rip it right out of your bodies," with Vegeta then having to quickly respond, "I'll try and hold out for as long as you can so that we can go and find a way to break through his attacks and go back on the move before he is given a chance to try and go and turn the tables on us completely."
Wait a second, Goku then quickly went on to respond by having to look down below.
"I don't see him below us anymore, which means that he's using this as a way to create a diversion, so I think he's coming right for us, you guys." "Well, at least one of you was taught to see beyond the mere physical and look into the eyes of your enemy to know on what their true intentions are going to be. But it doesn't matter now, because let this be a lesson in knowing where your place is when compared to the might of a god, as I will now go and do unto you exactly on what it was that I've been waiting for this entire time, for I am going to grab hold of all of you and ensure that I choke the very life out of each of you, all three of you together at once, until I have watched you all squirm beneath my feet, just exactly as your destroyer was shown previously doing when we watched him squirm against Lord Reno. And now that I am able to grab hold of you mortals and have you right where it is that I need for you all to be," Pharix continues, "I am going to now take you mortals out for a bit of a spin around this world, and so whatever it is that you do, try not to allow yourselves to go and break your necks."
To which seconds later, with Universe 16's God of Destruction now shown having to use his bandages after having to wrap it around all three of their necks, and from that point them being shown swinging them around over and over and over again, was when Vegeta quickly went on to then chime in,
"Kakarot, he'll break our necks if we don't find a way out of this. So let's try and use all of the power that we can use and just try to blast our way into breaking Goku free, Vegeta! Oh, damn it, right now! Hurry, because we don't have the time!
To which, surprisingly and fortunately enough, with this having to now work in setting both Vegeta and Goku free, was when Goku then went on to quickly shout,
"There we go! Now quickly, Broly, if you can't find a way to break loose, then try and use those straps of his to grab and pull him right towards us this way! I know that you can do it, and so that's right, just like that, and so don't let him pull you in, but instead, I want you to use your strength and go and throw that God of Destruction over here towards our direction instead!"
As with Broly being the powerhouse that he is, as he was now shown having to then do so, was when Vegeta then quickly went on to then chime back in,
Yes, it worked! Hurry, Kakarot! Let's go and attack him at the same time and together, and we'll go and smash him down onto the ground until he's hit the floor below! Hurry!
To which that was exactly what Broly was then shown doing upon Goku and Vegeta being shown collectively attacking Pharix before having to all three of them be shown having to knock Pharix down, was when Angel Rizal then went on to chime back in. Now I will go as far as to say that I have never seen mortals with this much determination and wanting to see a battle through like this, and it's because of this very revelation that I do believe that Lord Pharix is starting to see it now too for himself, and because of this, I can now also see a growing impatience in Lord Pharix's actions, for it is a subtle yet significant departure from his calculated approach to more of an instinctual and potentially reckless approach, he adds, as I fear that if he allows for these actions to go and get the better of him, since of course he is looking to force all three Saiyans into submission, then this could ultimately prove to be rather dangerous even for him, but we will wait and see on what he will do, as it only now looks as though Universe 16's God of Destruction had had enough, because as soon as Pharix was from that point then shown creating two Hakai balls within the palm of his hands, was when Pharix then went on to continue,
"Insolence! Enough is enough, and I have had it with these number games that they continue to play against me. Wait, and just where did those fools just decide to run off to? Unless, yes, but of course," Pharix adds, "an ambush. Now I see, but try as you all would like, because this will be the last face and the last battle that you mortals will ever live to see. Now show me your worst," to which as Goku, Vegeta, and Broly were now gearing up and unleashing their most powerful attacks, was when Goku then went on to respond, "This is it, you guys. This is our one and only chance, and quite possibly the only ever chance that we will ever get to finish this. And so now let's go and hit this God of Destruction with all of the power that we have together," with Vegeta chiming in, "And whatever happens, don't let up and don't even think about dropping your guard until we are finished, and finished for good. You are all fools, and now I will blow you all away forever,"
Pharix shouts, as Goku then went on to quickly respond,
"And so now, all together, you guys, fire!"
To which both sides were then shown doing, because with the giant beam collision now shown having to take place, was when Goku then went on to continue,
"Oh, darn it! Just keep pushing, you guys! Yes, while your efforts are second to none, and with power as impressive as the ones which you mortals are shown using against me," Pharix went on to then quickly add, "you will not find it within yourselves to be able to overcome a force which you simply cannot understand. Oh, this is just insane. How is it that this destroyer is able to muscle out this much power despite the three of us using all that we have against him is beyond me, but I'm not going to stop until we've beaten him once and for all," Vegeta shouts, with Goku then quickly chiming in, "We're starting to lose way too much ground here against him, Vegeta, and if we don't hurry and try to turn this around against him, then we aren't going to be able to keep this going for much longer without burning out of power completely. And so we're going to have to try to either give it more than what we are right now, or try something different, because if we don't, then we aren't going to make it. And so we've got to try and turn this entire thing around, or else he's going to overtake our attack completely," as Vegeta then went on to quickly shout, "Oh, don't let him drive us back like this, damn it! Remember why we're here and what it is that we're fighting for, damn it! And so now don't let this be where we lose!" Yes, I can feel you Saiyans starting to lose more and more ground as you continue to struggle against me, Pharix went on to then shout, "and so it's not going to be long now until you are all destroyed, and I know that you know it because I know it, and so you might as well just say your final words now, because this is where our battle will
will reach its end, mortals. But then, it was only just then within that very moment as our heroes continued to struggle where they visibly then began to notice something changing within Broly as Goku then went on to look over by commenting, "Wait, Vegeta, do you feel that too? It's Broly, his aura and his power, it's changing, and that energy, is he about to..." "Yes, he is," Vegeta went on to then shout upon Broly now being shown visibly transforming and unleashing more power upon their blast and pushing Pharix back. "It's that green berserker form of his. He somehow was able to find a way to use its power, Kakarot. Then this is our one and only chance," Goku then went on to shout. "Now let's give it all that we have and hit him with our full power now while we can." To which that was exactly what Vegeta, Goku, and Broly were now shown doing upon Broly now being shown momentarily transforming, because with Pharix now being shown getting in a defensive position as he was now being shown overtaken was when Pharix then went on to shout, "Oh, what? But where were they able to generate this additional power from? Oh, curse them!" To which it was only right then and there within that very moment as Universe 16's God of Destruction was then shown having to be overtaken by the Saiyan's attack and from there causing a massive explosion, with Universe 16's Angel Rizal being shown having to oversee this while creating an energy barrier to protect himself was when Rizal then went on to chime in, "Now I see," which only goes to show me on exactly how these Saiyans were able to get the better of Lord Pharix within the moment, which is a rare sight, dare I even say, for even me to behold as well, as it appears that Lord Pharix has severely underestimated the profound synergy that arises when Saiyans unite in battle, which is what ultimately had now led to this, as their combined forces are not only merely additive, but they are rather instead multiplicative, with each warrior amplifying the other's strengths and creating a tapestry of power that is far more daunting than its individual outputs, and only from there overpowering Lord Pharix briefly from within that very moment. But as good as their combined efforts were and as powerful as they all appear to be, whether standing alone or while together, Rizal went on to then continue, Lord Pharix wasn't appointed as Universe 16's God of Destruction overnight, and so we will wait and see on what will happen once the dust cloud settles. In which moments later that was exactly what was then shown happening, because with Rizal then shown having to lower his barrier was when Rizal then went on to continue, and well, because if I didn't know any better and if I had to go and take a guess on what will come from this, despite of course the Saiyans getting the better of Lord Pharix for a brief moment in time during their battle, then I still don't believe that they are quite finished here just yet. But then again, that attack of theirs sure did happen to appear to have done a number on Lord Pharix as well. But let's now just go and wait and see on what the next move on the chessboard will be. To which back on over with Vegeta, Broly, and Goku now shown powering down and reverting back down to their base levels was when Goku then went on to chime in, "Alright, so I think that we may have got him good with that one, you guys. There we finally go. Now that ought to go and show that annoying destroyer on what it means for us to stand on what it is that we stand for. And so now good riddance for that," Vegeta went on to then respond. "Oh, well, thank goodness that this is finally over," Goku responds upon them being shown dropping down on the floor. "You know, for a second, if it weren't for Broly, then we would have been goners." But as soon as they were beginning to then talk amongst each other was where from out of nowhere up above them in the sky as Angel Rizal went on to oversee them was when Rizal then went on to quickly chime in, "Well, as impressive as your display just now against Lord Pharix was, I wouldn't start celebrating a false victory just yet, Saiyans. And well, because instead I would like for you all to look a little closer and take a deeper look at what's right in front of you." To where that was exactly what the Saiyans ended up doing, because behind the smoke as a silhouette of Pharix was then beginning to show as the dust slowly began to settle on down was when Pharix went on to then chime in, "You pesky insects. Now what I would like to know is just where in the world did you get the idea that this fight between us was over and done with? Because as you can clearly see, I'm still standing, and so I don't know where it was that you mortals were able to possibly find enough power within the heat of the moment to go and overpower my Hakai cannon. But as you can clearly see, based on our current conditions," Pharix went on to then step on out by responding,
saying, I'm still ready and able to continue this, whereas you are all utterly depleted. Wait, say what now? It didn't work. Well, now what are we supposed to do? Goku questions, with Pharix then having to quickly chime back in. In all my years, never, and I mean never, did I ever come face to face and go blow for blow with any mortal warriors who were able to damage me as badly as you Saiyans have. But here you can see that I'm still standing, with Goku then having to question, I don't like this. Vegeta, should we hurry and go do the dance or what? And now that I have the three of you right where I want you, Pharix continues upon them being shown having to raise his arm, your combined efforts against me was nearly proven to be successful in taking me down for good if it wasn't for my ability to hold out against such a deadly force. But even now as I stand before you all, I hereby stand before you as a witness to the might and unbreakable resolve that thrives within the heart of warriors who have proven to be true to their cause. Pharix went on to then shockingly stick his arm out by responding, for you have not only survived, but you have transcended the expectations of both mortals and gods alike against me in battle, and because of that, I hereby extend my hand to you all as a sign of respect for a job well done and for a very good battle, despite being unable to defeat me all on your own. Pharix continues, as your unity in the face of my destruction and your refusal to yield against me are the benchmarks of what make a true warrior, and for that, you have earned my respect. Pharix continues upon now being shown having to lift the Saiyans up by his arm, and as a god of destruction, it is my role to challenge the structure of power and test the might of those who shape the foundations of their respective universes, and in this case, with yours being Universe 7, and while I see now that Beerus may have been onto something when taking the three of you in and accepting you, I am now going to go and keep my end of the deal and do as I said and relinquish any hostile devotions that I may have towards your embarrassing god of destruction, Beerus, with Goku then chiming in, you know, I gotta admit and say that I wasn't too sure if we were going to be able to beat you or not back there, but, well, either way, I'm glad that it all worked out for the better in the end, and not for nothing, but you are seriously no joke when it comes down to the way you fight as a destroyer god either, because, well, I'd be lying if I said that you didn't have me a little worried out there, with Pharix responding, well, you were all lucky to have trained and had been trained the way you were, otherwise I would have annihilated you all the very moment we started to engage in battle. And as I will go as far as to say that although I never would have expected for such a lazy and stubborn destroyer such as Beerus to ever consider a mortal, let alone three, as being worthy enough to acknowledge, but I will say that he did in fact make a very smart call by doing so in the end, Saiyans. Oh, and well, I in fact actually second that. Angel Riser went on to then touch back down by having to then chime in, and as I noticed that while you all stood united as one, did you only have a better shot at holding off Lord Pharix in battle, and even go as far as to do something which many may not lay claim and say, and that is well push Lord Pharix into actually trying, Rizel continues, which speaking of, allow me to go and heal you while you decide on what we will be going and doing next, Lord Pharix, with Pharix responding, yes, and I know exactly on what we will do, which given how I had agreed in answering any of the questions that these mortals would have, whether it be involving something they've seen within the Window Realm or about this universe or even their own miserable god of destruction, and as I do believe that a gathering is in order, so that way we can have the chance to speak while I gather more information on just what kind of training these mortals have done in order to reach such levels of strength, and that includes Broly's training as well. Oh, and what an excellent idea indeed, Rizel went on to then chime in by having to heal Pharix, and while your strength returns to you, I will go on ahead and prepare a feast to not only celebrate the fierce contest that you were just shown enduring against these mortals, but this will also be a great way to foster a deeper conversation of your valiant opponents as well, Lord Pharix, with Pharix responding, then you will go and do exactly that then, Rizel. Tell me now, do you mortals wish to partake in this feast while we go about by honoring the agreement, with Goku then having to question, well, I mean, what do you say, you guys, with Vegeta chiming in, I don't know about this, and how do we know that this isn't some kind of a trick that you're trying to pull on us, with Pharix responding, there will be no such tricks that will be pulled here, especially while we feast as one together, and so in the meantime, go and heal them while you're here,
Rizal, to which as Rizal was then shown having to heal Vegeta, Broly, and Goku was when Pharix then went on to continue. Now come and let us take our leave as we go and discuss a few important matters at hand, and while you follow my lead, I want you to go and serve us up several meals, Rizal, as you'll never know if we may have some unexpected guests join us in the meantime, Pharix continues. But even now we will hereby leave this place and eat elsewhere, as I do in fact have a few questions of my own to ask you as well, on top of course also having to keep my promise in answering all of your questions as well. And so now hurry it up before I go and change my mind, for you will not be so lucky to have me address you with such mercy ever again, as it was only right then and there now during that moment where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the Resurrected Fallen Gods of Destruction, the Universe 16 Saga Manga Chapter Special then comes to a close.
Actually, I'll go and take it from here, as I do want to go as far as to address something with all of our dear viewers at the moment. As before I go and give you the following information, if you aren't already a member of Unreal's Patreon community, then you are truly missing out on so much without you even knowing. As not only is the next episode already on the page, but if you want to support all of the content that you see and gain access to tons of exclusives along the way, then we do encourage for you all to become members of our Patreon community today, for we will link it all down in the description box below and pinned comment section. Now I will go as far as to say that although this was an incredible battle to watch unfold despite our heroes nearly being destroyed in the process, each of them, including Lord Pharix, had went along to showcase a very impressive battle out there despite our heroes being depleted in the end. But if you thought that this journey that our heroes are currently on was over, then you better think again, because this is only but the beginning of so much more that's coming, and so you do not want to miss out on what is about to happen coming up next. So we hope that you all enjoyed today's video, as before you leave, do make sure to give this video a thumbs up by smashing that like button on your way out, as well as subscribing to UnrealEntGaming's channel in case you are new around here. We thank you all for watching and hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone, as we'll see you all in the next one.
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming?
Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch.
Roshi!
Silent Cell, me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch.
Roshi, the fuck?
God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell.
And we're demonetized.
Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.